There we go. Alright, so we managed to take out Auric. You can see those sparks, the biggest problem with that. They've been the big problem the whole way through, to be honest.
Listen to me. The door of Komali must be closed. Kill the Lich while he stands atop the Bloodstone inside the caldera. If you do this, his spirit will recharge the soul batteries, and the door will close again. You have served Ascalon well. I beg of you, do one last duty for your prince.
Anything, my prince.
End my misery. Release me from the Lich's spell.
If that is what you wish.
Now something quite interesting there, you saw that I had a staff equipped and the animation I used was hitting him with the staff, using the staff's attack animation. It turns out, in this game, if you're not holding a weapon, you can't attack in this game.
Travel well, Prince Auric, until we meet you again in the Hall of Heroes.
And, but it turns out that there is actually an attack animation for weaponless fighting, and every single profession has a different one of it. It's kind of like this hidden animation, and in that little cutscene there, if you kill Prince Auric without a weapon equipped, you'll see that hidden animation. Your character will actually kill Auric using its fists, and like I said, it's different for every profession, and you can only do that in a couple of places in the game, in a few select cutscenes. It's pretty cool, to be honest. So if you ever find yourself in this boss fight again, unequip your weapon, and obviously if you're the party leader, unequip your weapon and you'll see sort of a hidden nice little Easter egg treat. Okay, so here we go. We have to kill the Lich. This is how we're going to do it. We're not relying on the Chosen. We're not going to be murdering loads of people. We're going to use the Lich's soul himself to finish what we've started. We're going to recharge the soul batteries and reclose the door of Komali using the Lich's soul. So basically, it's time to kill the Vizier. This is the final boss of the game. Ooh, here we go. He says, "You are no match for my almighty power." He sort of screams. This is one of those boss fights where they just keep screaming the same thing over and over and over. First task in this battle is to get rid of his little minions. 2 fists of the Titans. You get 2 of them on either side. If we're lucky, then these are the only ones we'll have to fight, but who knows? Not I. Basically, as long as I don't go onto the Bloodstone, the Lich won't be too pissed off with me and won't try and kill me. So we'll just kill his friends first. This is so much quicker than with the other build. These guys take ages to kill. You can kill them faster. All the Titans here in the Ring of Fire are really weak to cold damage, so if you use a cold mod on your axe, you can kill them a lot quicker. But still, it takes ages. Okay, so did you see that purple thing? Basically, the Lich summons these sort of unbound energies, and if they can touch you, if they touch you, they send you well out into the lava. And this is what makes this boss fight so hard. We're gonna attack him for our first volley here. This is what makes the boss fight so hard, because when you go out into the lava, he then starts to restore all of his health, and he strips enchantments and stuff, which sucks. But as you can see there, he teleports himself around. As long as we stay on the edge and don't attack the and don't go onto the Bloodstone, the spirit should mostly be able to take him out without him retaliating too much. He's quite an underwhelming final boss. The ones at the end of the other campaigns are really good, but he's got like really pathetic skills. He's only interesting, vaguely interesting, because of this skill here, Soul Vortex, which creates these like blobs of energy, which you usually can't attack, but spirits for some reason can attack them, which is quite funny. And basically he just tries to spam those in an attempt to get everyone off of the Bloodstone so he won't die. Now we actually usually, I said earlier, if we're lucky we'll only have to fight a couple of those Titans. Usually, hold on, let me get back, just want to cast that. Usually you have to kill him like 2 or 3 times, because every time you kill him he comes back to life. He is undead of course, but each time you do it his soul sort of disappears a bit and it recharges a couple of the soul batteries, and you can see the door of Komali's there. Yes, we're back here, this is where the outpost was. So yeah, and every time you do that, and sometimes you have to kill him 2 or 3 times before all of the soul batteries are recharged and the mission is complete. But it's mostly random how many of the batteries recharge, so you just got to keep attacking him. Anyway, when he does respawn like that, it actually causes him to summon more titans to fight with him. So if we're lucky, we'll only have to kill him once or twice. If not, then we'll have to kill him lots of times. Something quite interesting about this boss is, with the other build that I was using, he has strip enchantment. I think I already said that, I can't remember. But he uses strip enchantment, which means that he can kill me very fast if I don't have shadow form up. But he also has ridiculously low armor. Like, his armor is like just amazingly low. It's like he has like 30 armor when most things in this time of the game have got like 120. So you hit massive damage on him, but only if you let shadow form drop. So the way the other build works with killing the Lich is you run in and you have Shroud of Distress up and shadow form. You wait for shadow form to drop, and you know that the second shadow form drops, he's going to try and strip Shroud of Distress from you. So what you do then is, the second it drops, you get ready for the interrupt, and you interrupt his strip enchantment, and then that buys you about 20 seconds, unless he teleports you to the lava, that is. That buys you about 20 seconds to smash him as hard as you can, and you're just doing hundreds and hundreds of damage with every hit. Of course, he's got tons of health, which means that even though he's got super low armor, he still takes ages to kill. And then you just keep doing that until either his strip enchantment recharges, or he sends you out into the lava. Okay, so we killed him once, there we go, and now boom, he's up, and you can see, look, two of the soul batteries have returned, and you can see this orb starts to come back over the door. This is the door is, look at that animation, I've never seen that before. How cool is that? Alright, okay, so the first bit is complete. I am sorry, this is probably not a very interesting boss fight. I mean, I do fully accept that it's not a very interesting boss fight. Just trying to get away from those unbound energies there, because they'll try and teleport me away. See, he just teleported that Spirit of Bloodsong all the way over there. Quite funny. Now the hands are attacking us. Crawl back up a little bit, take the hands out. So yeah, this final mission, nowhere near as hard as the other things we've come up against. I keep mentioning it, Thunderhead Keep, I'm still shocked I've completed that. I mean, there was a period there that I was just like, why am I even trying this? This is never, ever gonna work. But it did, and I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked. Oh, got to refresh some of our consumables. You see our concept's fully fallen down now. I didn't really need that since I'm only spirit spamming, but every little helps, especially with those elementalists that you find here, those imps. They pack a punch, let me tell you. In my tests I died quite often on this mission just because of those guys. I feel like I've probably ran out of things to say. I'm gonna super speed the rest of it. Super speed! Only other thing really to mention in this this wonderful boss fight is he's got crappy moves, as I said. He's got a really shitty move pool, but his attack is like this really powerful ranged attack, and you can see, look at all the orbs he's spamming there at me, trying to kill me with. But yeah, his ranged attack does loads of damage. Otherwise, that's it. Okay, he's about to die for the second time. Is this going to be it, or am I going to have to kill him 3 times? Let's see. No, there we go. So look at all the spirits in the sky. Bang! They created the soul batteries. I would be more happy about this mission, but it wasn't that hard. This is really significant. This is the final mission complete. There you go. Prophecies can be soloed. Anyway, now back to the plot. So the door's back. A lot of titans have been released, but we've stopped them coming out, and the Vizier's dead. There's the Scepter of Ore next to him. Something quite important to notice about the Scepter of Ore in this cutscene. It'd be quite hard to miss, but I do want to make sure. Ooh, look!
Long into the season of the Scion, Tyria is revived again. Over the bones of the bird of prey, the fire is put out and the diabolic gathering is closed off once again. The Flameseeker prophecies are now complete. The door of Kamali is closed, and the Titans are once again safely locked away behind it. You have saved Tyria, but now you must also save yourselves. The volcano is about to erupt. There is a ship in the dock, just inside the Mersat stronghold.
So this is where they were bringing the soul batteries from that we went to before.
Unless you wish to suffer the same fate as Vizier Kilbron, then I suggest you make a run for it. Your deeds have earned you a place among the heroes of legend. Let us hope today is not the day your spirit joins those ensconced in the hall.
Okay, so yeah, it erupts just like I said at the start of the mission. And look at the scepter. Woo! It disappears. Now that is very significant. We will see it once again, and I think, and I'm pretty sure it will, it plays a big role somehow in Guild Wars 2 and to do with the first Elder Dragon. So we're running. You'll notice Glint called the Mersat the Birds of Prey, and they have the feathers on their back. You might remember way back in the Maguma jungle. This is the Onyx Gate, of course, that we're fleeing through here. Remember way back in the jungle we spoke to one of the druids who gave us like a premonition, or sort of told us what the future held, and he described some winged birds of prey who we didn't know what they were talking about, and there you go, it was referring to the Mersat. That just twigged for me. I did know it when we spoke to the druid originally, but I completely forgot, and now I've just remembered again. So there we go. We've sailed across. Alright, so this is the first part of the epilogue. All the characters we've ever met, they're all here. Hooray for the heroes of Tyria! The Lich is dead, Tyria is saved. Hooray! Now, where are we, you might be wondering? Well, it said Drachna's Forge. We're actually just outside of Drachna's Forge. Remember when we were speaking to Vanyi, I showed you guys a gate, and I said once we finish the game right near the end, we'll be able to get through that gate. This is on the other side of it. This area wasn't originally in the game. You remember that all the PvP arenas were removed. That meant that a lot of the outposts were closed down for people to go into. This was one of them, and a couple of years ago they decided to create this extra area at the end of Prophecies, and they reused the old PvP arena. See, you can see this is where the people would battle. That's where the red team spawns, and it was kind of like a shoehorn area, and there was a priest on each side, and that's where the blue team would spawn. Anyway, but now it's being used for this, and you can speak to everyone we've ever met. Here's Avinia, the final leader, the last remaining leader of the Shining Blade. Oh, just so that you guys know, this is going to be a... should I talk to everyone? I kind of want to. Alright, so Avinia says, the White Mantle's power over Kryta will dwindle with the collapse of their High Council, and Salma will be the next Queen of Kryta. You remember Salma? We spoke to her before the Amnoon Oasis. I dedicated my life to these very goals for such a long time that part of me wondered if I could ever see them accomplished. Now I find myself at a crossroads. The Shining Blade has much work to do, but I feel my place is at Salma's side. There are several worthy lieutenants who are more than capable of continuing the work of the Shining Blade. I leave the future of the Blade into their trusted hands. Now she says that, but like I said, the mantle isn't completely down and out yet. In about 5 or 7 years, I can't remember which, they will come and try and take us out again. And at that point Avinia becomes a big character again, and in fact, as of the plot so far, she's missing, and she's quite a mysterious character. No one knows where she is. So here's Salma. Hooray for the heroes of Tyria. She's going to be the new Queen of Kryta, if they can make it happen. She says, I shall return to Kryta and lead it into a new age of peace and prosperity. I was frightened at first, but with your help I now realise this is both my birthright and my duty. For that, I'm in your debt. Some Shining Blade. Bartholos will make a serviceable leader to replace Avinia. But I would have preferred Livia. Not only is she easier to look at, but there is a passion there I don't see in Bartholos. I feel Livia would do anything for Kryta, and I mean anything. So he's talking about this character called Livia, and I just told you this wasn't released with the main game, so these people are going to be talking about characters who we've yet to meet, and who are very important characters later on. So this is quite nice that he sort of referenced Livia, even though this is a mysterious character to us at the moment, who we don't know who she is. But trust me, she's a cool character, and all in due time we will meet them. Lavinia was a fearless leader, and she will be missed. However, I think the Shining Blade is in good hands with Bartholos. Or Bartolos? I don't know. I never know these things. Besides, I'm certain Lavinia won't be able to stay out of it completely, and that you are right. Watchman Arad, I found her, I can't believe it, and now she will be queen. I've offered to serve as her Majesty's personal bodyguard. I would give my life for her and Kryta. Here's Shadow and Carlotta. I'm not going to talk to everyone. You know, I had a feeling you were going to do something amazing when we last met in the Ember Light camp. You have not let me down. I always thought of Salma as a daughter. Oh, it's so tempting to talk to everyone. Let's just talk to the important people, shall we? King Adelburn. Maybe now that you have finished with this nonsense, you can come to Ascalon and help deal with the filthy char infestation. So yeah, I mean, Ascalon is just kind of like an introduction to the world kind of area. That first bit with Ascalon being attacked by the char, it's not the main focus of the story. Once you reach Kryta, you're dealing with completely different things. But of course, Ascalon is still very much under attack, and you might remember quite a while ago I said that what we've been doing here in this main plot will eventually tie back into Ascalon, and that will happen very soon. But I'll talk about that in a little while. Duke Baradin, of course, you must remember him. Love this guy. The war with the Char still rages. There are fierce warriors, but the 5 gods will protect us. We shall prevail. These are exciting times. Simon the Scribe. I wonder how many of these you guys recognise. I recognise Simon the Scribe, but I can't quite remember where he's from. Was this the guy that was speaking about the Flameseeker prophecies at the start? Oh, here's an Orion. Orion Historian McClan. Oh no, oh, this guy was from the Gates of Kryta. Old Mac! Gotta remember Old Mac and his pet devourer Joe. This is something else, her saving the world. Wow, just wow, your mother must be so proud. Oink is quite a cool little pig thing. I didn't really talk about it in the Let's Play, but this is an invincible pig in one of the missions. It's quite funny. To do with one of the bonuses. Farrah Capo, Little Tom, Stefan. Little Tom's was one of the henchmen that we were for a long time. There's a few quests about him in Ascalon that I never went over, and I kind of regret not going over them, because Little Tom kind of has a bounty on his head, if I remember correctly, and basically he runs away from Ascalon and joins us across the Shiver Peaks to get to sort of disappear from the people who want him dead. Of course, the main character, Sin, we can't not talk to them. Sin, the hot-headed elementalist, who is in a relationship with Menlo. We did some good burning together, didn't we, Menlo? The gods seem to smile on you at every turn. You are clearly blessed by the 5. Devonna, the leader of their motley crew. And Eve should be with them as well, but she's not. Lovely. I think my father would be pleased, you know, watching from the mists, proud that I am his daughter. Of course, her father died in one of the guild wars. As a part of the guild Ascalon's chosen. Some more of our typical henchmen who didn't join us on our trek. These two at least didn't join us on our trip to the Ring of Fire. Lena did though. She's okay. We never really bonded with those people, did we? Oh, here's Aiden and Eve, and the other henchman. Aiden says, "I'd like to settle down one day, but for some reason I feel like our adventures might be the beginning of something bigger. You have completed your journey, defeated your heroes, and concluded your quests. All of Tyria honours you. Congratulations." So there we go, fireworks. Simon the Scribe says, "Intrigue, betrayal, a world nearly fallen under the shadow of titanic forces." So basically everyone's going to start talking now. The main person that we want to be talking to, though, is... oh, War Master Titus is here as well. "And such divine providence that you shall deliver, you must tell me everything, spare me no details. No matter how trivial, my words shall be your witness and every generation to come, your audience. No longer shall I spend my days digging for dusty sentences in the battered earth. That is the history that was." This is just an idea, but maybe it was Simon the Scribe that ended up writing our journal, kind of publishing it. Speaking of which, we'll read that again in a little while. "This is history in the making, and it shall be my voice that chronicles it. Verily, I may even have become a part of history myself. The famous historian, possessor of first-hand knowledge." Oh yes. This is like the big ring of henchmen. "Perhaps I should change my name to Simon the Wise, to be remembered by." Yes, that does have a nice ring to it, doesn't it? It's funny because he keeps changing his name. Oh no, that was Marak I'm thinking of. Yeah, I can't remember who Simon was. Oh well. Okay, let's speak to King Jarlath. They're going to keep talking, but I'll ignore it. King Jarlis, whose brother recently died, very sad. Thanks to your heroism, Vizier Kilbron, the Lich Lord, no longer threatens Tyria, and my brother did not give his life in vain. Your amazing deeds have secured your place in history as one of the paramount heroes of the world. All of Tyria owes you a debt of gratitude. But we Deldrimor dwarves owe you an even greater debt. Your aid in our conflict against the Stone Summit helped me regain my seat in Thunderhead Keep. For that we are forever allies. Accompanying me today are the finest Deldrimor weaponsmiths. As a show of our eternal friendship, I offer you this Deldrimor talisman, which allows you to claim a weapon of your choice. Fight with honour, my friend. Thank you, King Jarlis. It was my honour to fight beside you. Okay, so he's going to give us a Deldrimor talisman. Now, I had one hanging around from another character, so we've actually got two now. In fact, we've got three, but we've got two. So this means that we can get, depending on which crafter we want to speak to, we can get a cool new skin, a weapon skin that's exclusive to here, and I love the Deldrimor weapon skins. So this is pretty cool. Now, who do we want to speak to? Artisan of Light, Spirits, Nature, Illusion, Elements. Those are obviously the casters. Steel, Shadows, Scythes, Spears, or Death. I'm pretty sure we're looking for Steel. Okay, yes. So we've used an axe the whole way through this. I kept thinking, oh yeah, should we go to use a sword or a hammer, but never did. So I think it's only fitting we get a Deldrimor axe, and let's get a Deldrimor strength shield as well. Very nice, very nice. And let's equip those bad boys. Where are they? Where's my shield? There it is. Alright, so very nice. I love the look of these shields and swords. The whole weapon set is just brilliant. So that's our new sword? Our new axe. Okay, so everybody's still talking. Do I want to listen? Oh, they're talking about how some of the henchmen didn't come. Well, if you guys want to read that, then go ahead. I didn't read it out loud, but I mean, if you really are interested, I don't want to keep this too slow. If you really are interested, then there you go. I'm sure they'll keep talking for a while, so... and then the credits should start coming up. Hear, hear, says Aiden. Okay, so yeah, they're done talking, and this was the first part of the epilogue, I would say. Wait, there's a weapons guy here. What does he do? Ooh, lag. Oh, and he just lets us craft the stuff if we don't have any talismans. Look at all these items. Oh well. Okay, right. So let's go. We're going to be walking out through here, and I believe that this is going to be the start of the epilogue of the game. In fact, I might even include this episode with me just stood here talking as the first episode of the epilogue. What does that mean to you guys? Basically, now that we're in the epilogue, I kind of consider the challenge to be complete. I know I played the prologue sort of as a part of the challenge. By the prologue, I mean pre-Syrian Ascalon. But now that we've sort of complete with it, Prophecies is complete. So these last few quests, just to make things easier for me, I'm going to be completing them normally. No more solo. I think the hard bit's all over, but I just want to get through these and then possibly start doing factions as well. So these will be continuing the series, of course, but as far as the challenge goes, we've completed that. We have completed that. This last chapter, the epilogue, is it's not very long. It's not very long at all, and it starts just through this door. We're going to go back to that vision of Glint. If you remember, after we finished the Dragon's Lair, we were at the we spoke to her, and she said after we've done everything in the Ring of Fire, come back because there will be still more to do. And these last quests tie everything back into Ascalon and the Char's gods, and and these last quests also deal with the Titans that got through the door before we closed it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this this challenge. The series isn't over just yet, but as far as the challenge goes, that's that. I'll see you next time, everyone. See you later. Hello YouTube, we are back in the epilogue of the game. This will deal with the Titans. and stuff. Just behind this gate was where we were just now, out in sort of the end celebration area thing. And luckily that puts us right next to where the Brotherhood of the Dragon set up their shrine, just over here. If you remember, Consular Frodark Steelstar. What an awesome name. Consular Frodark Steelstar. Lovely. Okay, so basically we were going to kneel at this weird kind of statue of glint thing. Go stand it inside the ring. And she wanted us to talk to her after we came back from the Ring of Fire. So there she is. What does she have to say? Vision of Glint. Titan Lord Everisso Sectus and his army are amassing numbers out in Mineral Springs. We expect that as soon as the army is big enough, they will attempt to overtake Drachna's Forge, break through the ranks of the Titans to find the Lord and the rest of his underlings. Killing the Lord would put a huge dent in the Titan forces and convince the rest of them to retreat. So that's not actually very descriptive of what's going on, really, is it? It just kind of throws you straight in there. As a friend of Deldrimor dwarves, it would be my honour. Oh, here we go. Okay, your escape from the volcano's caldera was no accident. Everything has unfolded as I knew it would. The Flameseeker prophecies have been fulfilled, and the evil machinations of Vizier Kilbron have been put to an end. But a threat still remains. The Titans, the Lich loosed upon the world, are causing more trouble than even I could have foreseen. The world is not yet safe, and you still have work to do. Where would you like to start? Okay, so I think she's meant to say that first, but because of the way accepting quests works on this game, it kind of skips it a little bit. Okay, so then we're meant to talk to her about defending Drachna's Forge. So there's a Titan Lord, and his entire army are amassing in a place called Mineral Springs. And we will go there soon enough. But first, just before we go there, for the first of these quests in the epilogue, we've got these funky new weapons that I really want to customize. So I'm going to go to Sarad, this guy here, and customize it. You'll see my skills. Basically, I just I'm not going to be using consumables or anything anymore now that I'm not in the challenge. But I can't really be bothered to go and get loads more skills, so I've just kind of made do with what I've got. My elite's pretty crappy, so I've added a Signet of Capture. It's pretty crappy for team environment anyway, so I've added a Signet of Capture, so next time we kill a warrior boss we can finally go get another elite skill, because you remember back in Chrysler I bought loads of Signets of Captures. I may have gone a little bit overboard. I originally thought that just we'd be coming across a lot more bosses and I'd just grab them as we went, but that's not how it worked out. So anyway, let's customize the axe, and we may as well also go to a merchant just before we leave here. Gotta love Drachna's Forge. Oh, and you know what I completely forgot to do, even though I said on the mission, it took me so long to do that with a ritualist on Hell's Precipice, I went and forgot again. I didn't have Charlie out for that final mission, so he wasn't there in the cutscenes or anything. Sorry, Charlie. Oh well, there we go. Nobody really cares about Charlie anymore. What have we got? We've got 6 Massart tokens. And now all but decimated race. There's only a few Massart left. Massart garments, some wands, some Titan armor, a salvage kit, some Stone Summit stuff, a Molten Claw, Decayed Ore Emblem. We've still got some Shining Blade left, which I might use if we find ourselves in a bind. Actually, I might use those on one of the quests that takes us back to Ascalon. That could be quite helpful. And of course we've still got a Deldrimor Talisman, Gwen's Broken Flute, and a Red Iris Flower. I'm not sure why I'm still holding on to those. When I originally picked them up, I thought they were one of the items that would give you access to a new quest in the expansion to the game, but it turns out it's not, and I've just been holding on to them anyway. One other thing just before we leave, let's read the Flameseeker prophecies, because this book's complete now. Our journal is finished. But there was one last page, Hell's Precipice. This was, obviously, when we read it, we'll find out this was written when we were on the boat, or that's at least when I think it was written, after we escaped from the Fire Island chain as it was swallowed in an eruption. Okay, I raged on to Hell's Precipice with the Lich taunting me the whole way. He threw Titan after Titan at me to slow my progress, while opening portals to every corner of Tyria. He sought to conquer the world with his new power, but by disabling the Titan portals, I halted his hordes in...
Alright, shut up, old me. Shut up, you. You don't have anything important to say. We're back in the present, guys. We're back with Guild Wars 2. Let's turn the audio up a little bit. How's everybody doing? How are you all doing today? Hope you're all having a good time. Yeah, so yeah, like I said in chat a second ago, I've got something cool to show you guys. I've even tweeted out. Whoa, the frigging consortium NPC there sounded really weird, like someone was actually in the room with me. I got something cool that I want to show. I've even tweeted that I'll show off. I'm gonna do it early when we have less viewers because this is one of those things. I always think back to like 2 years ago, maybe a bit before Feature Pack 1, I think it was. Somewhere before Feature Pack. Maybe it was before Feature Pack 2. I got really excited about... I looked back into the old convention demos and stuff, okay? And I really got excited about the idea of a Guild Wars 2 where you could put incremental little stats into your character. And I even mentioned a concept with it that was like totally anti-Guild Wars 2 and not very Guild Wars 2 at all. But... I was really excited about that video, and I thought, oh, this could be really cool. This would be a really interesting way of doing character progression stuff, and I remember the joy that I felt over it. But the video in general just kind of didn't do very well at all. In fact, if anything, it kind of hurt the channel in some ways because it was like, oh, Woodapachurch doesn't know what he's talking about. I always remember that. So now, whenever I get like stupidly enthusiastic about something such as I am today, I'm always a bit like, man, I've been totally off base before. Maybe it will happen again. But anyway, so I do have something to show you guys. Before we start talking about that, though, I want to say hello. See how everybody's doing. Talk a bit about what we're doing on the stream. So how are you guys? I went with the scrambled egg again for breakfast today. Wooden potatoes, I can't play even if you play EU tomorrow. I've got school till 5, and I think a lot of other EU people have the same problem. Wait, you got school till 5? What are you talking about? This is the morning, my friend. Are we leveling Herald today? No, my Herald is like a pretty low level. My Herald is... I've barely heralded it up at all. Fine, thank you, says Scorpion Bruno. Don't second guess yourself, that's chump talk. No, all I'm saying is I'm excited about something. And you guys might be like, this is crap. But we'll see. Yeah, we're smoke potatoing it up again today, guys. We're smoke potatoing it up again. I don't know what really we're going to do today. We are NA. But what I'm thinking could be Tangled Depths. Tangled Depths. And I kind of want to command New Hawk. I kind of want to command New Hawk. I kind of want to learn how to command New Hawk. And hopefully that will mean we get some stream successes. I'm hearing a little bit too much now about random pug attempts that succeed. And it makes me feel bad about us, damn it. It makes us feel like we suck. Damn random pug attempts. How is our mail full again? Oh, God. Oh, wait. It does go over? Related fun build idea. Condi Tempest tank for raids for the Veil Guardian. You can take Fire, Earth, Tempest, and Tempest take all the aura traits in Earth Elemental Shielding. And stroke the stone. Take some shouts and rebound. You have good prop time. Yeah, I like the Theorycraft that's going on. I've done a lot of talking, actually, about two guys, specifically in King now, who have been talking to me a little bit about the idea of a burn alley and the way it works. And it's been like, does burn go over 100%? Does it not go over 100%? Here's the full story, guys, right? Burn duration. What is red here, okay, is final. Even like there's like a twist to it where it seems like it does go to 120% based on tooltip changes or something.
Spark to flame.
But that's not actually true. In practice, it's kind of like, do you remember when expertise and concentration were bugged? Maybe they still are. I don't know if they are. But do you remember when they were bugged? And it said on the tooltips it was improved, but actually in real world it wasn't. Basically the same thing happens here for Ellie, for the Ellie traits.
I want to be Cassie. Okay, I'll be Marjorie.
Dark Flames, I play on EU some weekends, dude. Look, to be honest with you, you're lucky I do EU at all. Most people who play NA, stream NA, that's it. It's only very, 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 very recently anyone's had an opportunity to swap across at all. Alright, so EU streams will happen, and EU streams have been happening at fair frequency. We'll probably we'll do some straw polls for them at some point. But I told NA they were going to get 2 days, so NA at least going to get 2 days. That's the end of it. We probably do suck, says Mario. Oh dear. I was just standing in at Lion's Arch and boom, 13 seconds. I'm like, that's not going away. Herald are crazy. Yeah, Heralds are pretty ridiculous. It's pretty true. All right. I want to show you guys things. So, last week, all right, I don't know how long I'll talk about this for. Last week, I did a video judging the story. I did a video talking about the Heart of Thorns story. And it was a fairly critical video that, yes, said what I liked about some things and what I didn't like about other things. But ultimately, I didn't really come up with many great ideas. Now, something is very apparent to me with Guild Wars 2, okay? Something is very apparent to me with Guild Wars 2. The guys who do the writing there, the writers, the people with the lore, all that good stuff, those guys don't seem to have much in the way of resources. I'm going to go ahead and say that they don't have much time, that they don't have they don't have much money to run, the department's not very big, something like that, okay? I'm going to say it's that rather than, oh, they're lazy or, oh, they're incompetent. Because that's just, who wants to live in that world, right? And plus, it's a dickish thing to say, you know, you can't be like. So let's say they don't have enough resources. So the question is, right, let's imagine the next expansion. Let's imagine the future of Guild Wars 2. I know, as a player, I'm not going to be happy about the story, and I'm basically going to stop caring about the story, and it's not going to be a thing for me. If the same quality story comes out, the Heart of Thorns bar that they've set, and the Living World bar that they've set, if Season 3 is only as good as Season 2 was, if the next expansion is only as good as Heart of Thorns was, then I know for a fact I'm just not going to be interested anymore. They do not have enough space, because they have limited resources, to tell enough. So the point is, what systems can go in the game that allow them to tell more story? Now, here's what I think their big problem is. I think their big problem is the fact that they've set a very high bar. They're kind of in a situation, they pushed themselves in a situation where their opportunities to tell story are very limited, right? Dynamic events have to be very immediate. Yes, they've stopped like trying to build them story-wise cyclical, all right, which has freed them up a bit. But they have to be. They affect very immediate areas. They can only affect certain time spans. They can only have certain stories based on the fact that you're basically escorting or defending or collecting, right? They're very limited in that respect. They're limited in the respect that all the stuff that comes from them largely is having to be voiced, and the idea of pressing F while things are actively happening to get lots of text is a silly idea anyway, because the event could progress, and they don't want the idea of people just sit around getting dialogue when they could be contributing to the event, and so on, and people feeling unrewarded. So the dynamic event's very limited. What's also very limited is the story. Now, one of the big problems with the core story in Guild Wars 2 is that they had so many branches, right? Like, so even though they had several years to make this thing, and they did do a lot with it, it was all spread out way too much because they did loads of branches. Heart of Thorns resolved the branches issue, but it seems they have way less resources than they ever had for the original game. Like, Jesus, think about it. Like, I mean, it's nothing compared to the original game, what we got in Heart of Thorns. So why did we get so much less? Well, because what they gave us, they put crap tons of effort into. They tie it really heavily into the mechanics. They are bound heavily by the amount of voice acted stuff. There's very little like text driven story or world building or lore that we're given. It's very much just like dialogue, and that introduces nightmares. That's, you know, coordinating people to record the lines and then have to re-record the lines if the combat's going to be slightly different or the gameplay's going to be slightly different, or, you know, and then not to mention the 5 races and slight tweaks and stuff like that. So that's what I feel like the problem is. What I think Arenanet need is more places to just be able to deliver story to us, text to us, lore to us, without all of this other arbitrary nonsense. And so, like, one of the classic ones that... basically, I'm going to do a video on this. I'm going to do a video on 4 or 5 systems that I believe the game could benefit massively from. This will be something, it's kind of going to be a follow-up to the Heart of Thorns review. Something more constructive rather than destructive, right? The Heart of Thorns review was very critical, but didn't really make many places. So, like, one of them is something you guys are very familiar with. It's my you know, desire for traditional questing. You know, I know that this game built itself on a lack of traditional questing, but I also know that Guild Wars 1 built itself on doing traditional questing right. Guild Wars 1 never had any of the stupid Maple Story, World of Warcraft, any other MMO you like, Grindfest MMO, crappy traditional quests where it was, you know, go out and kill 10,000 mushrooms and I'll give you 50 experience. And there's basically just like a skeleton plot that just exists just to facilitate the grind, right? They didn't do that in Guild Wars 1. They did traditional questing really well in Guild Wars 1. And so I know that this game is built off of throwing it aside completely. But I think they can totally bring a concept like that back, but not call it traditional questing, you know. Anyway, my specific concept for that is kind of like you'd go to experiments gone wrong, and it would give you a little arrow here, and you'd click it, and it would rotate this entire thing over, and you'd have like another 8 things there, but they'd be like side quests. Anyway, that's going to be one part of the video. Another thing is something I've talked about a while ago. And here we're gonna change our overlay here. The other thing is a bestiary. Now, I talked about this a while ago. I talked about this on one of my top 10 supposed feature pack 3, should it ever exist, requested features. Because once again, what I see from a bestiary is a way for the devs to give lots of lore that can very seamlessly and easily be dropped in the game. Instead of, oh, I have to type tons and tons of dialogue, and it has to fit all the mechanics, and it has to be voice acted, and it has to be immediate, and all that stuff, right? It's literally like, you've got a dev who's feeling a bit inspired about red mowers, right? And they want to talk about the red mower a little, so they write a passage of text about it, and it can easily get in the game. You guys must have had that experience in other games where, like, there is such a feature. There's like an encyclopedia feature or something like that, and you can just spend hours getting lost. And a bestiary might seem kind of narrow, and it might be like, well, WP, what you talk about, this is just like such a small thing. Oh, just lore on random enemies. How cool can that be? But what you need to appreciate is when there's a lot of information being given about, say, the red mower, you can refer to other areas in the surroundings of the mower. So it can be like, red mower particularly enjoy water from the pristine clear falls of Kessex Hills, or some crap like that, alright? I'm not actually a creative person, I just know what I like and what I don't like. But you get what I mean? You get a lot of, like, side, glancing, tertiary information, right? Does that kind of make sense? Alright, so all that said, I have began my own concepting of a bestiary. I have been in Photoshop a lot, and I think I've made something pretty cool. So I want to show you guys it. We're going to go down here. This might be kind of weird for a second. No? Okay, good. So, this is what I got so far. Well, there's lots of images, so we'll roll through them. So this is, my concept of a bestiary, guys, is that it can easily go into the hero panel. You don't have to do anything fancy. And basically, by combining the idea of Slayer achievements with the already existing achievements UI, with the already existing story panel UI, you can actually make something very, very, very functional. So, this is kind of what I've concepted out. Now, as you can see here, we're in the hero panel. You got the hero panel things. You got here, you got, you know, your build, you've got your equipment, you've got here training and so on. Underneath masteries, I just got a new one. This is the representation on the wiki of the pale tree. I don't know, I just picked up at random. I couldn't quite get rid of all the green on it, so it doesn't look perfectly seamless. But so this is our bestiary tab. So we see at the top we got hero panel, bestiary, and I liked the idea of not bloating this up with crazy titles or whatever. So just as you get further in your bestiary, you've got like maybe a single title that gets pushed up. So this guy's, you know, a renowned beastmaster or something, all right? So, I mean, you could attach AP with it and stuff. 0 AP, I'm out. You could attach AP and stuff to it, absolutely. But that's a bit beyond the scope of what I was trying to show. So the way that the bestiary would be laid out, I think, most simply, is you just have it done by region. So you'd have like a little section here with common enemies and common creatures and things that you could learn about in the world that aren't really specific to any one location ever, anywhere. Right? So, like, and I basically broke those down into 2 categories. You'd have ambience and you'd have animals. So, ambience is what we're currently looking at. You've got armadillo, you know, these one-shottable things. Armadillos, barred owls, beetles, bug swarms, chickens, crabs, blah, 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 blah. But then, you know, you may have the animal tab as well, which may have a lot of ranger pets in it. May have stuff like dollyaks, mowers, stuff like that on those levels. You know, deer, goats, all those kinds of things. And there's quite a lot, actually, in the game. So, to skip ahead a little, I'll show you guys a concept of what would happen. So you see this chicken here, right? This chicken. What happens if we click the chicken? Well, it would take you to a page something like... Where is it? Something like this. Oh, God, I hate you, Windows 10. I actually hate Windows 10. I genuinely... Windows 10 can go to hell. Well, I mostly just hate the way that they deal with photos on Windows 10. Alright, here we go. So I made a Jaguar page. So you would click this, and you can see we're still in common. We're still in ambient here, as you guys can see. But now we get information about the Jaguar. So we got Jaguar. you would have a classification. So this is basically a mix. It's mostly about the lore for me, but it could also add actual gameplay incentive for people as well. So for example, what this does here is this tells us this is a feline. This can be quite important. So like when you would look at, say, Subject Alpha's page and it says classification, it would actually say classification undead. And what that does is that allows people in the game, without having to go to the wiki or anything like that, in game to actually know, hey, this is going to be affected by sigils of undead slaying and sigils and potions of undead slaying, right? And you could even give people rewards where, you know, if you get all the felines, if you max out all felines in the bestiary, then you unlock a recipe to craft a sigil of feline slaying, right? Like, you could add stuff like that in there. There could be, like, some reward incentive. Health, I kind of wanted to give exact health. I kind of wanted it to be that if you filled out the bestiary, when you went in-game and moused over someone, so if we go back in-game here, you know, when we're in-game, if I mouse over this char, let's say I've got the char done in the bestiary, if you mouse over the health bar here, as long as it's not dynamically scaling dynamic event mob that's going to have a fluctuating health pool, which they want to conceal for good reasons. If it's just a regular mob, I would like the idea that you could mouse over and then, boom, you could see exactly how much health it has. But in general, because, like, so, like, with this example here with Jaguars, you know, you get level 7 Jaguars all the way up to, like, level 79 Jaguars, right? So, like, you can't really just give a health. So I just put, you know, what's its general health, and, you know, we know that cats are a little squishy. Not super squishy, but they're sort of squishy. You got common drops as well, easily found on the wiki. The idea is you'll be able to mouse over. For commonly found locations, you can borrow the already existing achievement UI, where you would click it and it would bring up your map and it would show you. So if you're trying to max out this area of the bestiary, right, maybe you've only seen 1 or 2 ever, and a lot of this stuff isn't filled in, you can go directly into the bestiary, click it, and the game will show you generally where some of them are, so you can kill more so that you can do better. Again, this isn't like the idea, take Slayer achievements, combine it with personal story UI. And then, you know, you can, this other stuff's a bit superfluous. You know, if Arenanet ever did a feature like this, I'd never imagine that they'd actually put this in here. But, you know, you got height, you got weight, you could do stuff like that. And then even known skills, in theory. As this is a ranger pet, this can be done quite easily. But so then, of course, you've got the actual lore section here as well. And so you've got number slain, 37 out of 50. And then you can just have different sections. So the idea here, guys, is as you kill more Jaguars, the information up here unlocks. And then once that's all unlocked, you slowly start getting lore. And you can have anywhere between 2 paragraphs to 6 to 10 paragraphs, whatever, right? And so, you know, you've got paragraph 1 maybe unlocks. It just sort of explains how they look. Being a great flesh eater with dark rippling black fur and long whiskers extending from the corners of its mouth. And then maybe later you unlock pack hunters. These predators move in packs of 2 or 3, dividing roles as do hunter with a far greater than animal intelligence. The breadth of their territory varies with the amount of prey available, and in those places where food is scarce, they increase their range so as to avoid starvation. And then, you know, eventually you're going to hit a wall, and this should actually be an X, this little green tick here. But it would be, you know, oh, the next one's about specifically the Jaguars in the Caledon Forest? Cool. So, slay more Jaguars to unlock further insights. Apparently this is like FF14, people are saying. I was actually heavily inspired by this, by Final Fantasy 12. And in fact, I'm not a creative man, as I said. Don't credit me for this text here. All I did was copy-paste. I found an entry from Final Fantasy 12's bestiary, and I was like, that sounds cool. And I used that for the Jaguar. I'm not a creative person. I just know what's cool. So that's the way that it would work, right? And then once you max it out, you're done. Cool. And maybe you push your little thing up here a bit further. But anyway, there's a lot to show off. I do have quite a lot here. So we'll just go through. So in no particular order, because this really is in no particular order. In fact, hold on. What if we go? All right, here we go. Actually, let's go backwards. Go the other way. All right, this was the first one we showed off. All right, so you got ambient mobs. I sort of mocked this up. You got armadillos, stuff like this. It's a little bit. Sometimes there's some inconsistencies. So like chickens maybe should appear under animal, but they're technically ambients that you one-shot. But you know, like what I want you guys to do as I scroll through this, right, is really consider how cool it would be, and we're missing one down here as well, how cool it would be to actually get more lore about these things, like Tyrion based. Like, you might just think frog, but you know, if someone is being a little creative, they can write something fun about frogs, specifically interior, you know, and how they act in the marshes of Queensdale or something, right? But that one's pretty bland. This would just be kind of the basic page. Maybe there'd be some information here explaining the bestiary if you don't have anything selected, as you can see over here. What I actually did was copy the, if you play a ranger character and you go to the story tab, and you click my story, it comes up here and there's an Asura and stuff, which I cropped out and stuff. I learned a lot about Photoshop, guys. But, like, so this is an example, right? Imagine if Heart of Thorns came out, right? And each new Heart of Thorns map, so we got Maguma Jungle here. This was actually here, and you had Auric Basin, Verdant Brink, and so on down there. And each enemy there actually had something new. You learned something more specific about each Chuck Garren. That would be great. This was a really early concept of the Jaguar that I did. Really early concept. This was a couple of early concepts as well. That was air. Ignore the early concepts. These ones are crappy. All right, here we go. So check it out. Right now we are looking at... I'll talk about ore later. Ore should be done later. Alright, so here we got bosses, alright? So like the bosses tab. So you got common, you got one for each region. Let's look at bosses. So you can split the bosses tab into 3 different areas. I kind of thought of this, right? So you'd have story bosses. So if you're on the story tab, you would see all the bosses generally related to personal story, to story mode dungeons, to living world, to expansion stories, right? Those bosses, they would all kind of appear in the, you know, prominent enemy characters basically would appear there in the story. You'd have Endgame. Now, Endgame is the tab we're currently looking at. Unfortunately, I never got the highlight going properly. But Endgame's the tab we're currently looking at. So you'd have stuff like, you know, a combination. What I would consider Endgame is prominent dungeon bosses, prominent fractal bosses, prominent raid bosses. So you got Lieutenant Kola. You could click this, learn a lot more about Kola in life, what ended up happening to him in the Ascalon Catacombs. Again, useful here for figuring out what variety things are. Like Subject Alpha here, you could click him, find out that he's undead. You'd learn more. It would maybe tap a little bit more. A lot of you guys watching this stream might not realize Subject Alpha isn't killed in COE, not in a single one of the paths. At the very end, one of his little tar things escapes, and there's kind of a setup that maybe he'll survive somewhere. So, you know, you kill Subject Alpha. Maybe the goal for this is 10 kills to unlock all information. That would be one full sweep of the 3 explorable paths, basically. And you know, you'd get the final entry would be like Subject Alpha, you know, like a story about Subject Alpha. You got the Jade Maw, the Raving Asura, the Guardian of the Veil from the Raid, Laurent, I've spelled that wrong. You got Mossman. Like, who doesn't want to learn more about Mossman? Or Giganticus Lupicus? You got Dolphy, which could be a fun one, allow them some more place to play into, you know, the fact that she's got a reference. You got Valog down there, the Centaur. So that would be one tab. Here we're in characters and factions. So characters and factions kind of are a little bit on the scope of the bestiary, but I do think are important. So these allow you to look at information not just about mobs or beasts, okay, which are useful. So currently we're looking at heroes, all right, heroes. And heroes would be like really prominent characters in the story, super prominent characters in the story. So you can click it and you can know. You know, how many people came into Heart of Thorns not knowing who the Balls Logan was or who Timey was, right? Well, with this, you could have that information right there for you, right? So, you know, you got Logan, you got Destiny's Edge 1.0, you've got Air. Now, what you could do with Air is like characters like this, obviously, that you can't kill to unlock more information about them. All right, characters you can't kill, you would unlock Air from playing non-personal story, and then you would unlock like her last entry at a certain moment early on in the Heart of Thorns storyline, right? And then it would be like Air is complete at that point, you know. And like someone like E may be ongoing, and you know it could, you know, it would just have a bit of information about him. Even characters that don't appear in the game, like Snaff, like in Metrica Province, there is a there's this thing you can interact with that like talks about Snaff or one of his inventions or something. Maybe you unlock Snaff's bestiary entry when you interact with that thing. So I'm still like designing the UI for some things that I want to show off. But so we got that. So before we move on as well, that's the hero tab. You got other ones though. You got enemy groups. So this is like for factions, okay? So while up here in like Caledon Forest on the Tarnished Coast, we may have entries for Nightmare Court. You could have Nightmare Court in general expressed in the enemy groups. You could have Lion's Arch stuff, which I'll show off. Lion's Arch might be like, why would you have just Lion's Arch? That seems a bit weird and inconsistent, but I'll prove that it's worthwhile having there. You have Pact Forces, so the Pact Forces would explain like the groups of Char that push in. You would have like the Dermot Priories and their plans. You'd have like the Pale Reavers expressed here. You'd have all the different facets of the Pact and their war against Zaitan, which again can tell that story much better. And then domestic groups would be stuff like the Adamant Guard, the Wardens, the Shining Blade, the Vigil, the Wolfborn, stuff like that, right? Like domestic groups around the main cities. Those factions.
I'm in a hurry.
Alright, so here's an example of like a really typical kind of tab. This would be Kryta, right? And this would be Kessex Hills. I need to look at chat. I've just been going and going and going. Yeah, Mass Effect Codex, yeah. Alright. So this would be Kessex Hills. So here we got Kryta. I did a, you know, so you got Queensdale in Kryta, Kessex Hills, Gindaren Fields, Harathi Hinterlands, Bloodtide Coast. South Sunset Cove is actually technically in the game files. It is a part of Kryta, so it belongs there. And then just for funsies, I kind of put Lake Doric there, like why not? This is the map that would exist north of Divinity's Reach. But so one thing like that you'd have to appreciate is like with Kessex Hills, you're not going to have every single mob in all of Kessex Hills detailed, and then every single mob in all of Queensdale detailed. Like, there's always a balance when you're proposing a feature. There is always a balance of what is too much effort for a dev to implement, right? Like, you've got to be smart. You've got to rein it in at some point. And so my proposal is kind of just pick the most interesting. Just pick the most interesting. So, like, I would be happy if this is all you got on Kessex Hills. So we could get extra lore about the grubs of Kessex Hills, right? Which might be a bit weird. You got, you know, the ooze from Kessex Hills. What exactly the ooze that we find in that jumping puzzle are feeding off of? What exactly put them there? Maybe there's some byproduct of the magic at Garenhof, right? Again, I'm not even that creative, and I come up with this pretty easily. The elementals, right? Like, you could have a thing in the bestiary that just says elementals straight up, and that's it. But then that's kind of boring. That's kind of like, and you could have, yes, you could have it straight up just elementals, and then, you know, on your Jaguar, on your elementals thing, like we've got here, one of these little sections could talk specifically about the Garenhof ones, sure. But why not give them an entry of their own? And then when you click this, each of these is like, okay, this one talks about the Earth elementals out in Garenhof. This one talks about the Fire elemental that you defeat as a skill challenge. This one talks about the Ice ones. You know, it could talk about how they're a bit grumpy, about how they're a bit scary. You got different varieties of Drake. Maybe scaled Drakes belong to this area. Now, scaled Drakes don't just appear in Kessex Hills. Scaled Drakes appear in other areas of the world. But there's nothing wrong with us being in Queensdale, killing a scaled Drake and unlocking a thing, you know, that's primarily associated with Kessex Hills, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Same with like Toxic. Like, if you kill a Toxic Knight in Brisbane Wildlands, so what if it comes up in Kessex Hills? You got like Draethor's Undead. So this is another good example of like an umbrella one. You'd click that, and each little paragraph, you'd have like one paragraph would be on like the little flesh wormy things he's got. One would be on the other ghost thing, you know. And it could talk a lot more about Draethor, more than we get in the dynamic, in the, yeah, the little event that goes on. It's not even a meta event in top right of Kessex Hills. You got the Ettins. You know, you could explain why Ettins specifically in Kessex Hills are Ettins as they stand there. And so you might think already, oh, but you know, how quickly are these going to get boring? But I attest that they don't have to get boring. I think you don't have to be super strict. So for example here, right, I've done a generic kind of paragraph talking about the anatomy of this Jaguar. Just the anatomy of this Jaguar. But you don't have to be so narrow-minded. Now, I wrote in my notes here. Let's have a look here. Here we go. This is basically my video notes. I wrote in my notes here. Scroll down. Where is it? Alright. The variety of things, right? So what you're seeing with this Jaguar here, right? If you're allowing yourself enough space to just write, right? You don't need, some of these don't even have to be like, you know, you could have a quote. This doesn't have to be like, this could be a quote here from a character in the universe. His description of Jaguars. There could be a retelling of some like close encounter a guy had of a Jaguar. There could be a poem of a Jaguar. For example, I'll show you one of the bosses tabs again. I think, you know, you could have a poem in there. Why not? If it's just going to be one of them, it just gives a bit of flavor. It gives a bit more background. It gives a bit more lore, world building, right? You could have, specifically when it comes to certain characters, you know, I already showed you guys like the Destiny's Edge 1 and Destiny's Edge 2.0. All right. You know what's always been annoying? The fact that those blog posts exist with those wonderful stories, like about Rox's backstory, right? Rox and how the mind collapse and so on. You could totally have her mind collapse in-game. You know, you just put the story in through these that you slowly unlock as you hang out more with Air and collect more things with Air. Not Air, sorry, Rox, Jesus. Or any of these characters. Bram, you know. It's an opportunity. My Air concept, which I think was back here, which is a really crappy concept, to be honest with you guys. But look at what I wrote this, right, down here. Don't move. The huge wolf snapped his head upright, eyes blazing. Stay exactly like that. No one else in the world could command Garm to sit still. He was, after all, a direwolf, 5 feet tall at the shoulder and 20 stone, with jet black hackles and fire-red eyes. He was made to lope and chase and drag down, not to sit still, not to listen, but he did. For heirs to Gulkin, he did. What's that from? That's from the book. You know, that's just a cool little passage from the book, and you have opportunities to do that, right? So I think you can keep these super flavorful for a long time. So to finish on Kessex, you know, and I think it's important that we have an entry for Kessex, like bandits, right? Arenanet could be lazy, and they could just organize this differently. They could change this and not have this like this at all. They could have instead, all right, Kessex, Hills. You could just have bandits, right? Bandits, and you'd have one thing of bandits, and that's it. But I think, you know, you can easily go into the motivations and differences of the bandits in Kessex Hills versus, say, the bandits you find in Queensdale. You know, the bandits of Kessex Hills are very specifically in that dock area, specifically have certain dynamic events that you can draw story from and expound on. You know, so they deserve their own little section. Maybe the crate in Kessex Hills, you can have specific stuff there to them. The destroyers there and their interactions with the Tengu. Alright, so earlier we were looking at characters and factions, and I proposed a Lion's Arch section. You might think, how many characters exist in Lion's Arch that we could really have in a bestiary? Quite a lot, actually. Obviously, big name ones. Ellen Keel, Evan, Captain Magnus, Lawson, the descendant of Cobia. You got Theo, the murdered guy in Season 1. Cobia himself. Now, with Cobia himself, maybe you only unlock his bestiary entry. Do you remember that achievement, guys? You get an Explorer where you have to press F on all the plaques around Tyria. Well, maybe you unlock his bestiary entry once you've done that. Or you slowly unlock more information about him as you do that. A couple of other captains on the Captain's Council. The Skrit who's in the Rock Cave. Come on, who wouldn't want to read more about that Skrit, right? Robotron, Hobotron, whatever. I need to get Matt Vigil to suggest this so that they actually do it. Yeah, that would be quite amazing. So, what we got here? Alright, that's another Orion thing. Alright, this is Queensdale, just kind of another concept here. So, you see, we doubled up with the Ettins here on Queensdale. But while bats exist in Kessex Hills, they only exist on the Queensdale list. You got a place for the Shades and the Atke to exist, or the Attache. Spiders, centaurs, stuff like that. Oh, I'm scrolling the wrong way. So here we've got vehicles and relics. These were quite exciting. I thought deserved a place. You could even have like maybe locations or something. So vehicles and relics. So currently we're looking at relics, right? Magdair. Like how good would this be? You know, like people angry the Heart of Thorns came out. They had Bagarth in the story. They had all this crap. Like, and Magdair deserved to have some more friggin' story about it. Like, last we heard about was ages ago, just randomly whole brackets like they forgot about it. Boom. Maybe they didn't forget about it. Maybe they just didn't have the resources or time to talk to us about Magdair. Well, guess what? Add a Bestiary, and you can just friggin' have a tab on there that talks about Magdair a little. This stuff being in-game, I cannot explain how important it is. You got the Blue Orb, the Bloodstone Shard that we kill at the end of our RP4, Caladbolg, Sahothin, the Blood Sword we get from the Priory, the Tome of the Rubicon, Searing Cauldron. You know, this stuff's... I typed that wrong. That's not an Infinite Cube. It's the Infinity Ball storyline. Whatever. Got some meat there, just as I was using on one of the things. So here we got story bosses. You know, I've got to be honest. These two here, Ogorovos the Moon Death and Horogos the Soulbreaker. These two are two epic frigging Tequatl dragons that you fight in a raw story mode. Appear out of nowhere, totally unceremonious. You just kill them, have sweet, super cool names, and then die. And Arenanet have never had an opportunity to talk about them. Well, guess what? Maybe you require people to kill them about 3 times or so, 3 runs through story mode. You know, this can be a long-term thing that people go for as well. You know, that encourages people to play through the game again on a couple of ults. And, you know, now we actually learn about the Moon Death. Why is he the Moon Death? You know, you can get the starter bosses from the tutorial. You can have information about Zaitan. You know, Morgemoth could appear here later. Just like I got the Pale Tree here, the Blighted Pale Tree from Heart of Thorns. You know, this is just a small selection. And so, like, Kanak, for example. Kanak could appear on one of these earlier ones, right? Kanak could appear among the heroes. So you'd have a separate entry as Vigilante Kanak. And this can deal with our interactions with him in Season 1, where he was a bad guy and he was a vigilante fighting back against the Consortium. You know? And, you know, the personal story deals with a serious issue of boss of the week syndrome, right? Like, enemy of the week. Oh, we're going to throw another random mob in to be scared of. And they never get any opportunity to develop any of those characters at all. This at least is a supplement to that. You can have Prince Alhazred. You can have any number of those other random, crappy, risen Orions that appear that have got nonetheless cool names, but never any development. What's this one? So that's more ore. Here's vehicles and relics. So vehicles and relics, you've got, you know, just more stuff you can do. So we're on vehicles now. So the glory of Tyria, come on, the biggest Deus Ex Machina. Oh, look, we can actually learn about its development now. Maybe this can gently unlock starting way back when that mission in Timberline Falls, when the Pact's being founded, and Traherne gets those 3 crafters together. Maybe you get a ding in your bestiary. You're like, what? This is the glory of Tyrion. It's like an airship. Workers begun on an airship. Blah, blah, blah. And slowly rolling through the rest of the missions. Oh, look, eventually it sort of makes sense for those who want to pay attention to it. You've got the submarines, the tanks, the charcopters. These char supply carriers are like those massive, massive on-wheels vehicles that the char have got in their home areas. Sometimes they've got vendors in them and stuff. Dune buggy. Just a generic airship. Supply dolly axe could maybe even appear here, if not as animals. Golem battlesuits. The Sylvari seed pods. Do you remember those things that you move around in the grove that take you up and down levels? Sure. Have it as a vehicle. Why not? So last thing we need to talk about is the ore stuff. So again, think about this, right? I'm in Caledon Forest and I kill a Risen. Do we want basically Risen appear on almost every single map, right? Or let's say we're in Iron Marches and we kill a Mordrum. Do we need a specific entry for Mordrum in Iron Marches? No, right? So instead, when I'm in Caledon Forest and I kill a Risen, what it should just do is unlock, you know, it somewhere else, which would be, I would say, in the ore areas. So we're looking at Straits of Devastation right now, guys. So I would say you can just put all the Risen in Straits of Devastation, you know, so pirates, nobles, maggots, plague carriers, raptors, ravagers, sea turtles, sharks, spiders, cymoths, you know, the lot. And each one, like, I don't know, this is where I get so excited. I love the idea of, like, getting some actual story about the Risen Sea Turtles, even if it's only one little paragraph, you know, one little section, fine, whatever. Even if it's just something funny or cute or little, like, that would just be cool. You know? Alright, anyway, so what I would say is you do that, and then, like, the next ore map that you get to, you'd go up again, like a notch. So, like, on Malkor's Leap, which is where we are now, instead of Risen, we've moved to Orion. I don't know whether you guys have ever noticed that distinction, but it tends to be the higher level undead are no longer known as Risen, they're known as Orions. So, you know, you could have a Risen Chicken here because there's an event chain to do with that. You know, Orion Drakes and the Orion Wizards, the Orion Farmers, the Servants, the Spectrals. So, the Spectrals are like, there's lots of Orion Spectral Knights and Demolishers and stuff like that. So, this would just be for all of those. Like, you remember those enchanted weapons as well? You'd have one section and each little paragraph would deal with different things. Deadeyes, the Hands, you know, just different things. Abominations in the story are described as being created at the Temple of Lyssa. Well, Malkor's Leap's where the Temple of Lyssa is. And then, you know, finally you get to Cursed Shore, right? And in Cursed Shore you can have, like, the ultimate badass, you know, this is just a small selection. So you've got the Dominated Berserkers, the Deadeyes, the Dominated ones, the Devastators, the Risen Knights, those flying things, the Giants, the Liches, the Eyes and the Mouths of Zaitan, the Gorillas, the Bull Sharks, right? And then they can all unlock there. And yeah. I cannot express to you. Just think about this. Just seriously think about this. Imagine if Heart of Thorns came out, this was in place, and all they had to do was just add, you know, Maguma Jungle, a couple of maps there. You know, this is the kind of encyclopedic thing people, you know, you'd play a lot to max it out. You'd go for your title. You'd get little perks from it. You'd have a lot of fun with this. And you could get lost in-game reading about stuff. Think about how much more opportunity they would have to world build. Just think about that. Like, I cannot express how badly I want this feature in the game. Now, I talked about it months ago. I talked about it on Feature Pack 3 request things. Generally, it was kind of lukewarm. People didn't talk about it that much. I put that like right near the top of my list. And hopefully I can express to people a little better why I think stuff like this is important. But so there you go. That's my little concept. That's my cool little thing. That's what I wanted to talk about. That's just one thing. The video is going to... You know how the Heart of Thorns review video was like an hour and a half? This is probably going to be a fairly long video as well, because this is just one concept I want to talk about. Then we're going to move on to some other ones. We're going to talk about the side quest stuff and other things. Thanks for listening, guys. I really want to stop and look at chat now. See what people are saying. Holy crap, who's going to get paid to write all this? People are already getting paid to write over there. What are you talking about? I sincerely hope... Like, come on. They have to have the same enthusiasm as, like, I do, right? Like, I don't even think I'm a great outlier. I think a lot of people love the story, and a lot of people want to see more of it. The devs have got to... I don't want to entertain the thought that it's because they're not creative enough or they don't give a damn. I just don't want to entertain that thought. I want to entertain the thought it's because they don't have systems like that in place. Where is the food section? The 5,000 bats and stuff, guys, that's just placeholder. That's just... what I did was I copy-paste the PvP things. That wouldn't necessarily be it.
Hold on. Yeah, she's there.
I think right now they should just add raids and do nothing else but upgrade content. The map's already getting empty. They shouldn't add any more. I think this would get... Mr. Crabcore says, I think this would give the game so much depth. I absolutely think it would too, my friend. The only problem is that the non-law part goes against a basic design principle that research like skills, health, and drops of specific enemies is never given outside by the devs. That's all left to player research. I like the law side, even though I don't know how many players would appreciate it. Especially because people could just look this up at the base area of the wiki without unlocking it. I suppose with the drop thing, I don't see what else would be so bad, though. I mean, it's fairly common what... like, all I would leave it to is, like, trophies and stuff, because generally that's as generic as you can get. When Potatoes, my friend, I built a jumping puzzle in a guild hall. Would you like to try it on stream? Sure, join on my party. I'll try it out. Why not? Let's go for it. Join on my party, quit, and send me a message in game so that I know that it's actually you. Am I appearing online? I am. Come to think of it, Warframe does this too, where you hunt down enemies and scan them to unlock lore. Warhammer Online has a good bestiary. Like, why don't we have it in this game? Why didn't they hire you yet? Because, like I said, like, I can come out with ideas. I have no idea about implementation. WP, do you smoke? No, that potato does, though. I love the idea. Cheers, thank you. I don't know. They didn't add a lot of stuff that they promised. This will probably never be added. Actually, they don't promise very much at all. I think morons take ideas of theirs and act like their promises. I think there's basically been one super broken promise, and that was precursor crafting for the longest time. And, well, two, I guess, fractals have been in a terrible state, like fractal leaderboards, and a lot of the things they said would happen, but fractals never did. But it is very rare that they promise stuff. Arenanet won't listen because they have no clue IMO. I don't know whether I believe that. I think they do listen. Most of those mobs would be hard to write for, I think. Like, most of the risen animals just got corrupted. Yeah, but you can... In those situations, you can just have a fun little story. Like I say, you don't have to describe... This is a risen bull. It is a corrupt... You don't have to leave it so narrow as describing precisely what the thing is. You can instead have a little quip or something. Like, so, the moon death, right? If you want to keep the moon death kind of obscure and weird and, like, you know, got that inspiring, like, oh god, what is this thing? You can have the information. One of the tabs of information you get about him is, you know, just like some like scary, you know, dark poem about him or something. When the video eventually comes out, I'm not just gonna have the jaguar as an example. I'm gonna have like 1 to 10 different examples. of creatures that show different things. And like hopefully expand people to your mind to think of, you know, how it can be a bit more interesting. If you tuned in and missed it, you can go back on the VOD. You also have to translate in what 6 languages? I hate thinking about that. That's true. The localization, it would be horrible. But can we just like... Can we just pretend that's not a factor for a second? It's not like they do a good job on the localization anyway. Can we please? Please? That's a good point. I never thought about that. I don't see... Fingerlight said, I like the idea, but unless they hired people for it specifically, I'd be a bit worried we get another Heart of Thorns long story because we spent 3 years building this. The thing is, to me, though, the effort that it takes to sit down, if you're a creative person, if you're a bit of a writer, right, the effort it takes to sit down and write a couple of paragraphs about something is really not very much. Maybe I have a warped perspective on that. But, I mean, this is coming from someone who just spent hours concepting that all out and sorting that out and putting effort into that. I know stuff doesn't happen easy. What I'm saying is you get much more... Like, for the amount of time it takes them to develop a single personal story step in Heart of Thorns versus how long it takes, you know, to write a couple of paragraphs like that. I think you get much bigger bang for your buck with a feature like that. Wind Potatoes, imagine if you finished a section of a Bestiary, you could unlock a live specimen for your home instance / guild. Yeah, you can go crazy. Like, again, that's the thing. When you're trying to think of suggestions and you're trying to give advice about what can be done, yes, there is an unending list of cool ideas. You know, like something that occurred to me was once you finish off all the centaurs, you know, you've maxed out your Bestiary for the Keswick centaurs, the Queensdale centaurs, the Harathi ones, the Lake Doric ones, whatever, right? Once you've done that, you unlock a decoration that is the ability to drop enemy centaurs into the guild halls, right? You know, you can have crazy ideas like that, but ultimately that's bloating the production again. And for me, it's not so much about that. It's about giving them an actual place to world build. And again, can I just say as well, you guys on stream at least, you know about my ideas as well for them revamping the personal story and releasing them a little bit like Living World. So... You know, every quarter we get one of the races gets revamped. Then after all the races are done, you get one of the orders is revamped. Then after the orders are done, you get some of the pack storyline. And then after that, you get like the final arc of the game. And like piecemeal, piece by piece, they can redo the personal story, bring it up to actually something decent. And, you know, combining that structure of release with, I would say you could do the Bestiary idea. Right, you have your Bestiary, and it's just that, you know, all the Ascalon maps and all the Ascalon-based Bestiary stuff comes when they revamp the Char stuff. And then it's slowly coming out and it's being monetized gradually. Seriously, I reckon you could take a team of about 10 people. Well, it's a lot of money to pay people, though. I'd do that for free. I would do volunteer work for free to get this game up to spec. As long as I could continue doing YouTube on the side. Yeah, like those manuals I got for Guild Wars 1. You know, like one of the sad things I heard, one of the highest points, right? One of the highest points for me in this entire story, right? Since the game came out, right? With all the living world, right? Was Echoes of the Past. Why? Because of this bit here. Oh wait. Hit this bit here. Hidden Arcana. My god, how good was this when you went to the Dermot Priory Library and you had all the books and stuff? How long did people spend pressing F and reading that stuff, and how good was that? And what makes me really sad is I had a message from someone a couple of months after this came out saying, hey, I interned at Arenanet. I was there for just a little while. I wrote all of those lore books. I don't work there anymore, but I wrote all those lore books. I'm glad you're enjoying them. Doesn't that just, like, kill you a little? It's like, wow, the best thing that was done by an intern that they didn't keep on? And isn't there anymore, so we have no, like, assurance that this is gonna... I mean, take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. Okay, because it could have just been a random person, that's all, so, you know. But still, it's a depressing thought, isn't it? I'd like to know more about Drathor and his labs and Keswick cells. Oh yeah, so the other thing I didn't talk about was, so like I had in the bosses section, I had like a thing for world bosses, alright? So that would be explicitly world bosses. So you'd have Olgoth, okay? You'd have Tyder, You'd have the Triple Trouble Worm. You'd have the Shatter. You'd have Tequatl the Sunless. You'd have the Fire Elemental. World bosses. But then what about other, like, bosses? What about, like, in Kessex Hills, where you've got, like, the Crate Witch in Viathan Lake? Well, there, where you've got the Kessex Crate, yeah? The entry in Kessex Hills for the Crate, you dedicate a single paragraph to some quip or story or reference to the Crate Witch. And then that's where she gets her little head in. Again, more inspiration. It comes easy, guys. Arenanet's too busy at is too busy failing at shoving structured PvP down our throats and pretending it's an esport that no one plays. Actually, I don't think they do pretend it's an esport. I mean, to an extent, you can't fault them for having bravado publicly about their PvP, because if you act like you have no faith in your own PvP, I mean, Christ, it's definitely never going to go anywhere. So you can't judge them for that. 400k, would you guys like it? Esports or a bestiary? Dude, that's a crazy thing to say. Yeah. Get no prize pool. Screw that. Let's just delete PvP and spend all that money on good PvE. I think it's true it wouldn't take that long conceptually, but then they'd also have to make sure each item doesn't break law elsewhere, etc., etc. We're just talking about proof checking a couple of paragraphs per mob. And to be honest, the point of this is, Fingerlights, like, I get that concern, but the point is, there is nothing to conflict with. This game is so shallow. This game has so little there. You know, if you wanted to write more about the friggin' Wizards 5 elementals, you go ahead, buddy. You write about the Wizards 5 elementals, because all you got to do to proof check is a handful of NPCs here. You want to write about the specific motivations of the bandits here, all you got to look at is the 2 events that exist there, and that's it. There's nothing there to conflict with. There is no codex. There is no depth right now. So you don't worry about it yet. You worry about that later. But would you want the lore bits to be consistent? Can't just sit down as individuals? Yes, you can just sit down as individuals. Absolutely, I believe you can. I believe a great joy in the flavor, and, like, you know, if I'm a player sitting here with my nose in the bestiary, just reading and reading and reading, and I'm like, oh, you've got you've got some information about this NPC. Like, I'm gonna get bored if they're all consistent, if they're all written by the same bastard with the same writing style, all explaining the physical characteristics of every single mob. That's gonna bore the crap out of me. However, if they're all written by different individual people with different flares and different genres, essentially, you know, some of them are quotes, some of them are like bigoted quotes from a certain NPC in the world about their perception on oak hearts. Some are, you know, short stories about things. That inconsistency is what feeds it. Oh, another feature I never talked to you guys about is, this would be a great opportunity as well. Like, this is where you could add hints about, like, the Final Fantasy XII Bestiary, which really inspired me with this. They have a system a bit like the Mystic Forge called the Bazaar, where you sell specific items in specific orders to merchants, and they give you reveal new recipes and stuff and new things that you can buy. And it's kind of very similar to the Mystic Forge idea that there are hidden recipes in there. So, like, think about the legendary weapons. Where's the hint on how to make the incinerator and stuff? You know, you can have a fire elemental somewhere in the bestiary that's, like, hinting at how to make the incinerator. What if they worked a system to pull info right from the wiki so we could actually write the info, or trusted people can? Trusted people would be employees, surely. You could do YouTube about doing volunteer work for the game. I'm sure I couldn't talk about... If I did volunteer work for them, I wouldn't be allowed to talk about Guild Wars 2 anymore. I'm pretty sure about that. I don't think they're that progressive. $400k says different. What do you mean 400k? Oh, the money. I got confused for a second and thought you were talking about Warhammer 40k. You could also drop the bestiary idea language unlocking, like you wanted to see it being implemented in Heart of Thorns, like doing masteries, you learn the languages, and then you can actually read about the Itza lore. Arenanet could make up for the missing opportunity in the expansion release. There's a lot they could do. Write the bestiaries and as in-world reports, then it's just historical inaccuracy and totally deliberate. Yeah, like I'd love a lot of in-world reports. I think, you know, there's difficulty there. You know, just doing what I did there and showed you guys. There's a lot of inconsistencies in what I showed you already. Like there are, you know, like that thing I showed you with the chicken and stuff. Just how you would order and rank things, and you know, there's a lot of different ways of going about it. And like certain things, like having each mob show the skills, like that's where it becomes a lot more work, and it probably isn't worth it in the end. But the lore side of things, I don't think so bad, as long as you're inspired. Seven people working 60 hours a week, take 4 for holidays, 1 for sick days, 19,720 hours a year for the bestiary by deleting PvP. Wow. If they add this, I can't wait for WP's rant about how to miss the opportunity to write some dark lore. Being inconsistent is completely fine. For example, more or less all Elven lore we got in Dragon Age Inquisition were opinions and understandings. And that was all we got, but it worked out completely fine. Inconsistency is pretty good in some cases. Yeah, like I think it totally. I miss that in Guild Wars. I think the game lacks that. People are so quick to be like, "Oh, Guild Wars has got loads. Take the Jotun in Holbrook as an example. He's inconsistent." It's like, yeah, but that's like one of the very few examples of them actually doing it. The rest is just clearly they forgot and, you know, made mistakes. Anyway, so it's the guy who's, I think the guy in my party is the Guildhall guy. I think he's that guy, Tibuk. And he's in the Gilded Hollow. He's on Gandara, which means he's EU, doesn't it? So, we can't join him. I can't do your jumping puzzle if it's EU, my friend. I'm sorry, because I'm playing NA at the moment, and I'd have to boot out the game, and I'd have to wait for it to transfer and stuff. Well, that idea is basically done. It says what we're playing. Oh no, yeah, it says what we're playing on stream. We're playing NA on the title. All right. Tag of Depths. Do we want to? WP, do you have any speculations where the game is headed after Heart of Thorns story-wise? That includes New Areas, Dragon. Any speculation I have is the same speculation as before the game came out, because I did nothing with the plot. It's sad and it's true, but there'll probably be a video eventually. It's just not a video I'm very excited about doing because, I mean, what? I'm just gonna sum up what I've been repeating myself over the past half a year. All right, what time is it? I think the Tangled Depths meta spawns in half an hour. So, let's see here. It is half an hour, right? Oh no, my phone's got no charge. Hold on 1 second, guys. I'm just charging my phone. I already finished the Heart of Thorns story. When is the next expansion going to get released, Winter's? We don't know. I would expect around 2 years from now. I would expect around 2 years. We're going to have about 2 years of live, frequent updates coming out. And then hopefully a big batch expansion in 2 years. Which should mean a full new set of elite specializations, a full new set of masteries, a whole new region to explore, hopefully more than one new region to explore, and hopefully more than just basically 3 maps, because let's be honest, Dragon's Stand isn't even a real map. Alright? And yeah. Before the expansion comes out, though, we'll get more maps and masteries anyway, and raids and stuff. Black X says you don't need expansion for story. Living Story will hopefully do the job. Hopefully. I'm done with hopefully. I'm done with hopefully. Living Story Season 2 was pretty good. But it was good based on the premise we were going to get something big later. And everyone was always kind of holding out for that, hopefully. Or most of us were, I would say. It's easy to play back now and be like, damn, Season 2 was really good. Because it was, right? To play all the way through. But I very keenly remember the sting of waiting for those updates and how short some of them felt. Who remembers how crappy, alright, in all seriousness, how crappy Dragon's Reach Part 1 was? Do you remember how short this was? And how they padded it out with just dabbling in a ton of open world events? And then Seeds of Truth as well is incredibly short. This could be done in like 20 minutes, tops. 2 basic instances. Once you've done them once and you know how to do them, just don't even. Well, there's nothing to this, and this was all we had for like a month. They can't just ditch the dragon's Bagbatartis. They can't just do that. It's ridiculous. What tier map are we on right now? Slightly T2. I don't know whether we're actually going to organise for this, guys, at the moment. Oh, okay, cool. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Chill. Slow your rolls. If you don't have an option to join on my map, that's because I'm playing NA and you're playing EU. Wind Potatoes, have you started on any of the precursor scavenger hunts? No, not a single one yet. Not a single one. Oh, you guys probably can hear my phone connecting there, my phone powering up. Sorry about that. That's not your phones, guys. That's mine. False alarm. Guild Wars 2 is a good game that has loads of regions to have themes and races associated with them. Yes, there may not be a play-by-play of what happened, what came before, but can't you enjoy what there is and figure out for yourself? You don't need it spoon-fed to you. To an extent, I believe that yes, not having everything spoon-fed, like that mystery of having things that are kind of shrouded and not entirely clear can provide a lot, but the actual stuff they present to us, specifically personal stories, so skeletal and weak and flimsy, it's kind of terrible. Oh, why is your name Can I Has Cheeseburger? Oh, guys, I ate, like, the most incredible thing. It was... I did it as well. It was really good. What's it called where you pan fry something, but you basically put, like, grease-proof paper in the pan? I did that with like, sea bass, which I'd never had in my life before. Oh, and the skin gets all crunchy and delicious. Oh, my God. And I had Provençal with it or whatever, which was white wine vinegar, cherry tomatoes sliced up really finely, bit of garlic, and onion, all fried up together. It was delicious. It was actually incredible. It's the best fish ever. And I had like mixed veg with it. I'm learning how to cook, guys. It's amazing. Yeah, but I haven't had a cheeseburger for like 6-7 months. Well, they could diminish the dragons, since as far as we know, this is the first time civilization resisted the cycle. We stop 2 of them, this could disrupt all sorts of balance and unleash greater problems. I just don't think it's going to feel satisfying on any level. I think it's going to feel terrible to have, you know, oh, we killed 2 of the dragons, so they're scared now, and they're leaving. All right. I don't know, dude. Just to put it on the back burner, I think it's just going to infuriate people more. They need to get through it, and they need to get through it quick. And the way they should do that in the next expansion is have multiple world of dragons fight one another. Learning to cook, maybe you should stop microwaving eggs. Bro, get over it. It's a smart thing. It's an intelligent thing to do. I've got these invites. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. We're not ferrying yet. Don't ask me to accept, Richard Compton. Chill. I had a burger on Wednesday with goat cheese, and it was amazing. I don't know whether I've ever had goat cheese. Next is, you should change it to Lee, because it keeps weirding me out seeing you. I vote for Lee. Or LLYI. Living Story Season 3, Episode 1. Rest of the dragons all clash above LA. There's a flash of light and they're all dead.
I'm accelerating.
That would be pretty crazy. I don't know. That would damage. I wouldn't like that. I know that I wouldn't like that. I mean, in some sense, for the spectacle of it, I'd like it. But in some other senses, I wouldn't like it at all. Because it would just be kind of like... It's like, why do I have any respect for, or, you know, serious thought into any of their future plots if they would just so arbitrarily throw it away? What I want to see them do is learn to do the Elder Dragon stuff right. They've made their bed, now they lie in it, and they prove to us that they know what they're doing. That's what I want. And if they never do prove anything, at least they stuck to their guns. And that's still a victory. In my eyes, anyway. Even if you weren't being serious, it's a thing to notice. The most important part of the story is that we need more factions. Currently, it's only Elder Dragons and the Pact. I'm pretty convinced in raids we'll finally see another faction connected to the White Mantle. They've set up so much for this, but we haven't seen them act yet. Yeah, what? And you kind of demonstrate that they have some power or something like that. I mean, I like the fact that Lion's Arch is kind of its own thing at the moment as well. I like the thought that there might be some tensions that push Lion's Arch away from the Pact quite directly, you know. The Pact were completely absent in Season 1. Clearly because the devs had no idea what they were doing is why the Pact were completely absent in Season 1. But they managed to scramble themselves together because they said at the end that the Pact finally appeared at the end of Season 1 when they decided what was going on. And their excuse was they had Lorantha go into Lion's Arch. And you could say, where have you guys been? And hit their excuse, and it was damn well written. It was, oh, well, look. I know a lot's been going on with Lion's Arch, but the Pact was really formed to deal with Elder Dragons, not get into politics that are somebody else's business in Lion's Arch. You know, we're not here to disrupt that kind of stuff. We're not here to just flex our muscles and control stuff that we have no right poking our nose in. We were dealing with the Elder Dragons. And to be honest with you, until now, with Scarlet diverting the leyline energy, it's not been apparent this has been to do with an Elder Dragon at all. However, now we're getting involved. That's well written. That's airtight. That's fine. That's cool. But, you know, as a result, but it basically was just written there to explain a stupid thing that they did because they didn't know what they were doing. And so it's been dead in the water ever since, obviously, because it was written, it was airtight, and now it served its purpose. But, you know, they could go back to it as well. They really could go back to it. And they could have it as Lion's Arch, you know, the Pact maybe is screwed, and now there's going to be like a refugee cycle or something. All right, guys, we're going to ferry on now. We're going to ferry on. Join on me. And at this point, Lion's Arch are like, no, we're not going to house you. You lot are assholes. You let Scarlet destroy our entire place. You didn't help us out. You didn't listen to any cries for help. You ignored us. You gave us some baloney about Elder Dragons. And now you've gone and got yourself killed. Why is this Lion's Arch's business? Scarlet apparently wasn't your business. Since when was the Elder Dragons ours? Screw you. Which would be a bit odd, I guess. Because Lion's Arch was always very pro the orders, at least during the Zaitan arc, so maybe it wouldn't work very well. But I like the idea of Lion's Arch being a superpower that's not on board with, you know, just more factions is basically the point. Please, once you get on the group, please do leave. I mean, I would really appreciate that because otherwise we're just gonna get hammered. Also, when you get in, if you can ferry on in Twitch chat, that would be wonderful. If you guys have never done this, there's an invisible wall, so you can't climb up. Honestly, Guild Wars 2 is a rather stupid game. It's very shallow. I don't know why that makes me laugh. Just so matter of fact about an opinion. That's it, guys. Keep on coming. Thank you, Lightbringer Tibble. You're awesome. Well, on Tuesday we'll have Mega Taxis. Hell yeah. I like that word for Squad UI. That's a cool word for Squad UI. That's badass. And so, yeah, we're changing it up this time, guys. I'm going to be commanding New Hawk Lane. Oh, crap. Yeah. If you get in my map and you want to do this and you've never done it before, can you click that link Fingerlights just put in chat? It's a video I did explaining the event. Call them buses. Wow, that's amazing. Or trains. No, trains already used. Planes? No, it's not. It's not very good, is it? I'm not on EU, I'm on NA. Somebody just messaged me in game asking if I was in the EU. I'm not, I'm on NA. Trams? Trams are cool. I remember being a kid and being really excited about going on a tram. I also remember there's a town in the south of England, okay, like a holiday town kind of place. But I mean like a small town, a small rustic kind of country-ish town. But it's on the coast, so there's industry there, there's fishing there, there's tourism there. But what's cool about this town, I very much doubt anyone in chat will know this, because the chance that you're from the UK and the chance that you're from the south of the UK and the chance that you know about this place is very remote. But this town gets a lot of tourism because it's kind of built in two halves. So like to have a gimmick about a settlement like that these days, I feel is kind of weird. You know, that's why Venice is so popular. It's got like such a major gimmick to it. But anyway, it's built in two halves. One half is at the bottom of this huge sheer cliff right up against the beach, the shoreline. And it's down like below this massive cliff, this big like chalk. I'm not talking about the cliffs of Dover or anything like that. I think it's a chalk cliff anyway. It goes like that. And the town kind of arcs around and goes up the cliff, and then that's where the other half is. And so what you've got on the cliff face, most people use the roads on these incredibly steep hills to drive up if they're going to go between the two halves of the town. But what you can do if you're kind of on a touristy bit of a bent, or I don't know, maybe pedestrians use it, maybe it's a part of average life for people there, I doubt it. But there's these like lifts, these carts, these lifts that are built into massive rails that go up the cliff, directly up the cliff. And I remember being a kid and going there and getting on one of those and going up and just watching, you know, you rise and rise and rise above the sea. That was really cool. That was a cool day. I have no idea. There's no point even making a suggestion in chat. Oh, what? Why did I DC? I didn't DC from Twitch as well, did I? Well, hopefully that map's not full, because... Alright, I don't think it is, because we're in the same map as that guy. I wouldn't even know what it's called, but it was very, 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 very awesome. I live like 10 minutes away from this, is a blue copy. Really? What a small world. That's crazy. No way. Was it in the southwest? Yeah, southwest. Yeah, definitely southwest. I've spent very little time in my life in the southeast. I'd never even been to Brighton southeast. I'd never even been to Brighton, for example, until this year. Oh, stop it, man with cheeseburger as a name. You're making me hungry. If I want to make sure the IP was 169. Yeah, I'm still on 169. Alright. Just slowly descend. Look at us, we're cool. We're very cool. What potatoes, I know this town. I was there a couple of months ago. The little carts use the weight of the water to move. In the town, there's also a plaque with time capsule. Really? See, as an adult, if I went back, I'd probably appreciate a lot more of that stuff. I remember that being so nice. I remember, like, the little tea shop. I'll tell you what, if you guys ever visit the UK, alright? Yeah, do the London-y crappy stuff, fine. But go to the southwest, right? See the big red hills with the really red dirt. Visit the Eden Project. But most importantly, visit places like Cheddar Gorge. Visit places that are a little bit in the boonies, a little, but are still kind of touristy. And go to like the little tea shops and the little cozy cafes and stuff, and experience like having British tea in a small, you know, nice little hustle bustle place like that, where you'll get like tea and scones, and specifically get like jam scones with like clotted cream, right, from one of these like southern little cottage shops place. Is that's what it's like to go on holiday in the UK. And you'll die. It's amazing. Cheddar Gorge. No, it's not made of cheese. Yeah, dude. Have you guys ever tried those, like, oh my god, scones with clotted cream? You'll find it's outrageously expensive. And, like, outrageously expensive. But, my god, is it worth it? Oh my god, I'm hungry. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about right here. Alright, you guys want to know about fine dining? Do ya? Check this out. Look at those scones. Ignore Matt visual. He'll tell you to eat healthy. I'll tell you how to eat good. Look at this. Oh, God. Delicious. A little bit of jam. And they'll do you some good homemade proper stuff as well. If you go to one of these little cottage places. This is what you come to the UK for. I'm telling you now. You get these little tea stores, these little cake stores. That one looks crap. That looks terrible. That looks like it's out of a box. It's been frozen and defrosted. Don't go for that one. In fact, a lot of them look kind of crap. That one looks pretty crap as well. Oh, why? Because it's vegan, gluten-free. Screw it. This is it. This is it. Yeah, yeah, look. They'll give you a little pot. They'll give you a little pot, guys. Right? You get a cheeky little pot of jam, and you get a little pot of cream. And then these are like slightly warm. They're like crumbly. Oh, they're amazing. They're slightly warm because they would have just pulled them out of the oven. And then you take your knife, you cut through it. See this little plate they give it? Oh, man. This is exactly what you want. That's like a 10 out of 10. That's the best one we've got here so far. It would look nicer if it had already been cut open, but that's how it would be delivered to you. Yeah, sometimes they'll dust like a bit of sugar over the top. I used to work making stuff like this. One of my jobs as a teenager was doing this. We used to have like, it was like a jam kind of like jelly plasma stuff we'd put in. Because we did it crappy, we didn't do it properly. We did it like industry scale. And then we'd slice up little bits of strawberry and throw it in there, and then you'd put the cream in, and then you put half a strawberry on top of it. Alright, we're done. I hope you're all hungry now. I wonder how hard it is to get that kind of stuff in the States, like proper. I just looked back at chat. I haven't read very much, but the first word I saw was, as I just scanned through, was diabetic. Oh, that's amazing. This is why people are fat in the UK. All things in moderation, my friend. We don't have to be fat. We just, you know, we make sure when we want to splash out and eat unhealthy, you go crazy with something like that. Do you ever put Bovril on toast, WP? No, I don't really like Bovril. Well, last time I tried it, I didn't like Bovril, which was like 10 years ago. So maybe I like Bovril. But it's not in my daily habits, no. WP, you having a Sunday roast today? No, probably not. I'm a bit off the... I used to have, like, religiously, like, well, not religiously, but I used to have one, like, daily, a roast a week. I found it crazy to hear. Like, Kerry has never had beef before, roast beef. Like, what is that? That's mental. I used to have that, like, once a week with a roast dinner. Once a week. How crazy. So, but, and, like, yeah, with, like, a couple of Yorkshire puddings and stuff. But, I don't know. Unless it's, like, full-on Christmas dinner with stuffing and sausages with bacon and stuff, I tend to not go for it that much. If you don't have one, we will disown you. Now, I'm probably going to have, like, I don't know what I'm going to have. Diabetes, man. Diabetes. Challenging content. Stop, you're making me nostalgic. Nostalgic, Rapperino? Why is that nostalgic? Yeah, the slightly warm, hell yeah. We used to make scones like that in our restaurant in California. Really? Dude, cool. Clotted cream is like very, very, very thick cream. I wouldn't know, I mean, it's like, it's not quite fresh cream. It's like heavier than fresh cream. So fresh cream is like what you'd like. Oh, it's hard to explain.
Accelerating.
But you know, like if you take like double cream or something, right? Like, you know, like that's in a liquid form, a heavy cream, but it's basically a liquid, and you whisk it like hard. You whisk it. It will and you do that for ages. Just keep. It's one of the most fun things you can do in cooking. You keep whisking. It looks like nothing's happening. And then all of a sudden, it gets hard. It gets really hard. It gets really thick and really tough. And I don't know why that happens chemically or what. I don't know what it is, but it gets really hard, and then you can, like, you know, get huge chunks off on your knife. And yeah, you guys should know what I'm talking about. Apple juice or orange juice for breakfast eggs? I'm more of a, for breakfast. I'm more of a fresh orange juice guy. I do very much. If you just asked me to rate apple or orange juice, I would say apple juice. I think I prefer apple juice. But for breakfast, orange juice all the way. Yeah, you got to beat the devil out of it. You do. It's true. Just like Bob Ross. I'm doing a really crappy explanation here, guys. If you don't... Oh. Alright, here we go. Moment of truth. Alright. Just as a request here, if you have done this meta event before and you are on the map with us, can you please vote? All right, yes or no. If you're on the map with us, please nobody else vote. I just want to know of the people on the map, what ratio we've got of people who actually understand this. Okay, but specifically, not just if you understand it, but if you've done it before. Oh, do we have an hour? Oh, okay. Wait, if you've had roast beef, what is it you said you didn't have? It was something basic like that. Lamb, roast lamb. It was roast lamb. Roast lamb, come on. That's still pretty crazy to have never had roast lamb. Sorry, yeah, my mistake. It wasn't beef, it was lamb. Minted lamb chops, Kerry. Alright, let's see the results of this, shall we? Oh my god, there's a majority yes. That's awesome. And we've got an hour to prep, so that's cool. And just to show you guys again. Actually, these look pretty nasty. But this is delicious. This is some of the best meat you can ever eat. Minted lamb chops. Like, a lot of people will be like, ooh, this looks horrible. This is delicious. This is the most delicious smelling, incredible food you will ever encounter in your life. That one looks pretty good. Minted lamb chops. People will know. People who have had it. It's amazing. Some of this is a bit elaborate and crazy. My god. Alright. Alright. We're done with the food. We're playing Guild Wars 2. It's a Guild Wars 2 stream. Join me after hours for my food discussions. Look, I like how some people are like, ew, that looks horrible. And some people are like, oh, these are amazing. Minted lamb with minted gravy. I've never doubled up like that. That sounds crazy. Alright, we're going to go... Since we've got an hour to wait anyway, I'm going to go kill Petoni. For daily. Alright. Tiku Nuhok. Stop it, William says. If you show too much food, I'll have to go get someone I can't watch anymore. Ouch. You would choose food over me? You guys should be getting hungry. I'm kind of hungry too, so I'll drag everyone down with me. The thing is, guys, someone said I love lamb, but I don't like mint. It's not a particularly minty flavor. Like, if you're thinking of like what do you think? Like toothpaste mint, right? Or you're thinking of like After Eights. I don't know whether they have those in the States, but that's like a type of chocolate you tend to have like around Christmas. After Eights, they're minty chocolates. Like, or like gum or anything like that. It doesn't particularly have a taste that is reminiscent at all to classically minty things. Does that make sense? So, like, you might really like minted lamb chops anyway. Because it's not like you're just, you know, you're getting a cool, freshy blast with your heavy meat flavor. WP, which supermarket did you shop at? Mostly Morrison's, but as anyone will or should understand, the main thing about the supermarket game is whichever's closest to you. Unless you're going to like a super high, arty-farty, high, you know. Yeah, apparently we can't kill Petunia right now. Well, what about adventures in this map? Some people yesterday were asking to see the drone race, but I mean, to be honest with you guys, the drone race, it's not that amazing. It's very short. I want to finish Scar Support and that stuff, but that's over. These were bugged before. Chak Egg Scrambler. Destroy all of the Chak eggs in the Scrap Cannon adventure in one attempt. Oh, but some of these take you into instances, so... Scar Lane, Ogre Lane, Rottanovis Lane, they're all bugged. Haywire Punch-O-Matic's an instance. I actually don't think I can do a single thing. Crystallized Cache Seeker. Crystallized Supply Caches. I know I've opened more than 27 of these. Was it bugged before or something? I mean, I suppose we could go open a bunch more. I've got enough of the map currency. How much do you guys think the ley line infused material, infused tools are? There's 5 gold each at the moment. They are still dropping. Maybe I'll go for it today then. I don't know, doing it on stream it'll probably plummet the price even further. Do you guys want to earn some money while we wait? Alright, I'm pretty sure my Twitch chat crashed again. I'm pretty sure that keeps happening. Hold on, let me refresh the page. Sorry guys, I would have missed a lot of comments there. Because I don't know what it is. Maybe better Twitch TV or something is screwing me over or something. What we got over there? Is that a boss? Do you want to go kill that boss? There's a lot of events going on. Oh, Petoni's back up. Petoni. Alright, again, refreshing the page hasn't fixed chat. Hang on there, guys. I'm not mean. I just can't see what you're saying anymore.
That was a blast.
Wow, he got
You're
out.
strong after all.
Compared to all the other daily things,
Respect
he got
that.
absolutely
Yeah.
slaughtered.
Take
Alright, there we go.
it.
One of my favourite
I
things is
know
steak
the good
marinated
use for
in
this.
chili paste and lime. That sounds crazy. Crystal Cache Seeker's bugged. So if it's bugged, why have I got so many on it? Have I done the secret jump and oh, I could go do that. I love that idea. Fam, well done. That's a great idea. Wood Potatoes, when's the next visual with? We always air that on Thursdays, so you're away from it. You should have sponsored links in the channel description for delivery services that deliver the food you're talking about on stream, you'd be rich. Yeah, how cool would that be? So I'm like, guys, clotted cream and scones. Look at this. Oh, it's delicious.
Rage
And then everyone's like, man, I'm salivating here. And I'm like, well, conveniently under the stream there is a link. It supports me. You know, I get a cut of it whenever you click that link and buy something. That'd be great. That'd be absolutely great. Alright, so, I don't know exactly where this is. I don't want to look up too much. But, apparently there's like a secret jumper puzzle thingy. So we're going to go try that. So we're going to go to the Order of Whispers camp. Now on a chocolate orange. Terry's chocolate orange. That's like a definitively Christmas food for me. Terry's chocolate orange, After Eights, Twiglets. I wonder how many people know what these are, like, that aren't in the UK. Twiglets, Celebrations, Roses. I would say Pringles, but I don't know. I get Pringles throughout the year, it seems. Not often, but when I was a kid, I would add Pringles to that list. This is all Christmas food. We're actually getting close. Did you try the M&S Bullion Bar? What the hell? No, what is that? Alright. So, as far as I understand, what you need to do is come down here. And then there's like a dark room. And the dark room is the jumping puzzle room. So, Cadbury. What? Cadbury's just a Cadbury make loads. There's loads of Cadbury things.
Raven Torrent.
White chocolate Pringles are about to come out again. They're delicious.
What?
White chocolate Pringles. Is this actual white chocolate just in the shape of a Pringle and coming in the can? Or are they
Rage
crisps?
at maximum.
Don't go down there. That's not where we want to go. Oh, God.
Kill shot.
Oh god. Oh god. I don't want to talk about this. Ah! No! I regret nothing! I regret everything. Alright, I'm going again. It's a Christmas thing. Yeah, but what? That just sounds so... Kill chain. You just linked to Curly Whirl. I know exactly what Curly Whirls are. You can get like a 20p Curly Whirl. Hell yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. I used to get £2 pocket money a week. Well, yeah, a week. Used to get £2 a week. And I could go to the shops around the corner. And I could buy stuff. And what they used to have this little section for food. For sweets and stuff. And you'd get Freddos there. You'd get Flumps. You'd get Curly Whirlies. There were 2 different types of Freddo as well. There was like a caramel Freddo and then just a solid chocolate one. That was where it was at, man. Because they were all cheap. UFOs. I sometimes used to go for the UFOs. But looking back as an adult, UFOs are rancid. UFOs are horrible. Well, actually, I could probably go for some UFOs. It's just a weird idea for food. But yeah, I used to go for UFOs, but they were a little bit more expensive. There are also these things called dib dabs. I don't know whether anyone knows about dib dabs. They probably sell a lot of this stuff still. I just don't look for it anymore. But dib dabs were like you'd basically get a pocket of sherbet, and you'd have a lollipop, and you would suck on the lollipop, making the lollipop wet and sticky, and then you'd dip it into the sherbet, so all the sherbet would stick to it, and then you pull it out of the packet, and then you'd do that. That was a dib dab. I don't know what plop is. I remember a while ago some people from TGS were hyping themselves up about plop. It's like chocolate, right?
Getting armor enhanced.
All this still exists in Ireland, bruh. Really? Well, screw you. It's up here, isn't it? No, we're not going for the underwater puzzle. The underwater puzzle I've done before. We're going for a different one, a more special one, a more hidden one. It's just difficult to, like, figure out where it starts.
Charged up. Armor enhanced.
What's the deal with the crosshair wooden potatoes? It's something called action combat. I've got a dedicated video on it. I'll have another dedicated video on it at some point in the future, as long as I still have inspiration to do it. And I talk about it in my top 10. If you search on YouTube everything about Heart of Thorns, it will come to a reasonably long video that sums up loads of stuff about Heart of Thorns. But I open that video talking about that feature. So if you want to learn more about the crosshair and what it does for the game, it's a great place to go and look.
Getting healthy.
Plop is basically just chocolate filled with caramel, but it's good. Alright, here we go. This is it. This is it. This is where we want to go.
Rage at maximum.
Alright, so what you got to do is pick up a torch outside the entrance. Now, somebody already nabbed it, so I'm going to wait. Otherwise, we can... Oh, there's one. Alright. Then once you got your torch, you can light up the dark. Alright. And in this room, somewhere in the dark, is a way to climb up. And there's like a hidden cat room or something. Or so I've heard. Let's see if we can figure this out, shall we? This is so weird. With an entire zerg of people here. This is so funny. Can I empty the party? I apologize. Yeah, sorry. I guess we are still ferrying. Just sort of scout around on the walls. See what you can find, guys. See if there's a way up anywhere. Somewhere in the darkness. Somewhere in the depths. Oh, they seem to be getting kind of high. Well, let's go a bit deeper in, shall we? I love this place. I love these dark places. I'm so happy that Arenanet put one in the game. Oh, that seems like a big dead end in there. Want to learn more about the crosshair? Go watch an hour-plus long YouTube video. But yeah, but it's right at the start I talk about it. You don't have to watch the whole video. Just go click the video, watch the advertisement, click the advertisement, make a purchase that the advertisement was asking you about, and then do what you want, basically. I don't care after that. But no, it's cool. It's basically a combat change for the game. Alright, that doesn't look like it's it.
There's
This is
the
cool. I feel like
power.
I'm on like an Easter egg hunt. Easter eggs, also delicious chocolate. Drums in the deep. Yeah, I like. It's not just cave maps though with darkness. It's also like the snowblind fractals. Amazing. That forest is amazing. Again, there was another thread on Reddit. There are certain things people just want and Arenanet don't give us. So like, you know, an immersive night system. Oh, I think my
Rage
torch
at
burnt out,
maximum.
and now I have no skills. That's cool. I guess I'll use the light of the Zerg to find my way. Oh Christ.
Structural integrity.
but you don't
Compromise.
Oh, the ceiling! I got through it, it's okay. Do we go up there? It's not very dark here, though. This is the thing. This can't be right. It's not very dark in this bit. Oh, it is kind of dark in this bit. What happens if you come up here in the story step, then? The terrain would be the same, wouldn't it? Oh, I got my torch back. Oh, maybe I always had it and I'm just a moron. What, go to those grubs? Oh my god. This is pretty interesting. It's pretty weird, pretty freaky. Oh no! I'll tell you what threw me off there. It was ferrying on. I noticed that someone was asking for a thing. I was like, oh, I'll ferry him on. Damn it. Alright, let's try and go up again, shall we? Lots of people struggling at that little bit. Alright, look. Stood here, we can scout the area out. Can you get reclaimed metal plates from blue and green reclaimed gear, or just red? Does anyone know? I've never got it from blue or green. I know it's guaranteed if you black lion salvage a rare. I don't know anything else. Alright, so we want to come up here. Now we want to go over here. Alright. Is this even right? Ask someone in game. I don't know. Do we go down there? Is that it? Is it down there? Do we keep climbing?
Rage at maximum.
I think the goal is to find a cat. I mean, Christ, where were we? Oh, jeez. This does look like we've made some... Oh, my God. This is scary. How am I at the front? Is this people just not wanting to make too much way? Oh, this is good. This is right. Look, because there's a grub up here. What the hell? Oh, this is badass. This is really cool. All right. Oh, that must be the room over there with the cat. Oh, apparently you can get them from blue and green then. Which video is about the crosshair? It's called Everything About Heart of Thorns. It was a video I did right near release. Oh, look, that guy just used the ground to... Oh, my God. Over there. Oh, this is scary. This is scary. Can everyone else see the light that I'm casting with this torch? Oh, but we're at the end now. So is that it? You know, the cat, and then we can't go any further? What I knew about this, it sounded like the cat was the end.
Rage at maximum.
Very nice of them. So there you go. No achievement, no nothing. I guess if I liked cats, I'd feel more rewarded. But I don't. I'm a grumpy bastard. And now I'm just going to climb down and hate on Arenanet. They never know how to do rewards, guys. There's no helping them. Oh, we're out the wrong side. I want to go back to the other side, though. I'm going to go this way. Ooh. I feel like they don't make use of hidden achievements enough. Because that could have been a hidden achievement easily. I love all the dragon hunter traps up there, Christ.
I chose you.
Alright, how do we get out of here? Like, just the regular other way out? Because it's a tunnel. Alright, there we go. There we go.
Armor enhanced.
Oh my god, I think my chat keeps crashing. I think chat has once again crashed here, guys. Unfortunately so. Druid is so much fun. Alright, we're back. Yeah, I kind of want to. I kind of want to be. It looks like in raids I'm going to be playing the support, which I'm really happy to do. I think it's going to be really interesting. But the thing is, to be honest, I only actually have light armor healing stuff set up, which is pretty bad because if you actually think about the 3 most likely support or healing support kind of characters that are going to exist, they span all 3 armor classes. One's light, which would be Tempest. One is heavy, which would be Revenant with Ventari, and one's medium, which would be Druid with Ranger. So it's like I'm really not prepared for the others. I'd be in exotics on the others, unless I wanted to stat swap my Nomad's heavy or my Sinister medium, but I don't want to, so I don't know. At least I'd always have the ascended trinkets and weapons, but you know, kind of a sad fact. Why do you play NA more than EUWP? Because all my friends and communities and everything that I've come to know playing the game is on NA. Plus, ping I don't consider to be anything that affects my gameplay at all. So.
Rage at maximum.
So why not? Is the question. I mean, to be honest, I do kind of geek out a little when I do look at my ping, and my ping is like, this is really low ping, by the way, for me. But I do kind of geek out when it goes all the way down to like 40 or some crap. It goes down to like 35 sometimes when I'm playing EU, and that's cool, but in terms of actual gameplay, it rarely makes a difference. It just means that while I'm playing NA, I can make the excuse that I died because of ping. And that's basically all. Alright, I'm gonna, just for fun, I'll show you guys the drone race, and then we will go for setup. I'm a little tired, and I've been talking quite a lot, so I don't know how well I'll do setup. Oh, wrong place. How did I end up doing that so badly? Well, that's pretty outrageous.
Seriously.
Yeah, ping doesn't affect my gameplay unless I'm trying to do the Mushroom Adventure. It's true, though, that Mushroom Adventure, that was weird and glitchy. That friggin' shortcut we were doing. Oh, retail. Makes me want to run Boon Strip just for this one enemy in the jungle.
I need help. Getting help. Observe the power of fire.
What are we setting up for? We're setting up for the Tangled Depths meta event. Tangled Depths.
Can't breathe.
Which is the Chuck Garrett fight, which we have so far never beaten on stream. And currently has bugged achievements. And currently, really, I would get very little out of completing it. Because my excitement of beating it for the first time is already gone. Because I did it with ATT, in which I put in no effort. But we will try. And I would like to command New Hawk. If you don't understand anything, hopefully a mod can put a link to that video in chat. Since they were doing it earlier. And anybody who doesn't know what's going on, I really recommend. I'm basically going to be a little bit boring for the next... Jesus Christ, 50 minutes. It's only been 10 minutes since half past. We did all that in the jumping puzzle and all that stuff, and only 10 minutes has passed. Christ. That's like the longest 10 minutes of my life. If you want to watch that video to learn about the event, brilliant. I had some funny footage of me dying here earlier in yesterday's video. Like, I died, got defeated to the smoke scales. I downloaded to the smoke scales, ran into the pocket raptors, and then they killed me and defeated me. It was rather embarrassing. Am I trying on EU within the next few days? Maybe. I don't really enjoy commanding it. I've said it too many times, and I don't get much out of it. To be honest, I'd rather not. I might be going to do Corteria, but we'll see. Alright, so one of the masteries makes this incredibly easy. It means that you can go through these vines without taking any damage. But this is basically the easiest thing you can do. You just run along, just spam the 2. Just chill with it. Go straight through the thorns once you have it all. Now on this ramp, you want to ramp right at the last second, like there. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. You saw how tight that was there. And just move along. I feel like there was going to be a lot more to this, and then there just... well, there wasn't. And you can ramp through this. And this one. And this is how I messed up gold on my first time ever playing this, because I forgot to go up on the right. Or I didn't know to go up on the right. Cool. And you go through. There you go. That qualifies you for gold. It's very, very, very easy. You know, I did 1 minute 3 and I got gold there. You can get like 50 seconds, I guess is the lifetime. The best I see is 47 seconds on my friends list. So for one of the coolest ones, you know, in terms of what, you know, the devs seem to be offering with Heart of Thorns, this actually ended up one of the most boring and quickest ones to go through. I think Pocket Raptors are really well designed. I really enjoy Pocket Raptors. I really do. They feel squishy. They feel satisfying to kill when you care about experience anyway, before you farm your ass off and trivialize everything. And you know, they actually do reasonable damage. You know, you want to pay attention. You're scared of them. I like them. I like Pocket Raptors. How did Asura ever build waypoints in Flame Legion temples and stuff? Well, I think they never actually built them there. They just put them there. They were already built. This is how you get this vista. Oh, I thought I could go on that for a second. I thought I could break out the nut. Alright, we're going to go down, guys. We're going down. Woo! Down to the lane, baby! Woohoo! This actually doesn't lead to the lane. Yes, it does. Alright. My law way of dealing with waypoints is as follows. Alright, I'm interested. Go ahead, Toaster 9. My favourite adventure was the Wings of Gold in Auric Basin, the one where Glint's wings affect from the story. Yeah, that was a cool one. WP, can you tell us how cool the Maguma Burl is again? Well, it's just this really awesome item. I've never known true peace. Truly, until I got one of those. You know, just deep within you. You know? Like everything's been worth it. Like everything's going to be okay. Like all your petty, stupid little issues that you constantly whine about. They just melt away. With that Maguma Burl. Like you realise that life's not that hard. That's why you want a Maguma Burl. Yeah, but that adventure with the wings that I did on that video yesterday, good adventure, really cool adventure. I don't know how to do it very well. It seems like of all the adventures with like the amount of variance and how fast you could get through that in theory with the perfect skills at the perfect time, that one is the one where people can do the most. Because it just seems ridiculous how many little crazy combo plays you can make as you climb. Even just think about this, right? The very basic idea of pressing space to climb up stuff, it becomes very apparent how fast versus how slowly you can do even such a basic action when you're doing the south thing over here, competing for the exalted armors, right? Like even just pressing space, you'd think, oh, there's not that much variance there, but there totally is. And that entire adventure is that already, plus 3 crazy skills that can be ground targeted immensely different areas, combined with the gliding, and then the 2 combos into it, and the 1 gives you a higher gliding vantage point. It's just, and you want to balance your cooldowns. Man, what a cool adventure. Was there a new achievement, Bloodstone Eater? In which case, do you know what achievement it was? There was indeed. It's kind of like they did a weird side questy-ish thing in the Auric Basin. Where was it? I'm sorry that I keep yawning, guys. I don't mean to make you sleepy.
Retreat!
This is the one that rewarded it. No, it's not. I'm an idiot. That's the daily one. No mask left behind? Yeah, okay. So first you need to do no mask left behind, okay? And no mask left behind was cool, and it had the good flavorful hints, and you had to go get all the masks. I actually wanted all three maps that, all three, maybe Dragon's Stand deserves as well, to have something like this, but they didn't. Unfortunately, only Auric Basin did. But that gives you an Aurelium node, right? Because like the other one should give you like an airship node and stuff, like I don't know, airship parts node, like an airship engine that you can hack away at every day, and it gives you airship parts. But when you complete that, you unlock the next one, which is a study. No, sorry, I'm an idiot. Oh my god. You start with a study in gold, okay, and you read a bit about the Exalted through their little tablets. This is the most lore you ever get on them, really. And this gives you deciphered clues, which when you double click allows you to do. There's another one. There's like a character you find, and literally you just walk up to character, press F, and they give it to you. And it exchanged 250 bloodstone dust all at once. That's the way it works. I can't find it though. I don't know which one it was. It's one of them there. Yeah, the node. I should remember to use the node more.
Accelerating.
I say all this, but I don't keep one in an invisible bag with me all the time. No, because I'm trying to keep inventory cluttered down, and also I'm spending my bloodstone dust on more worthwhile pursuits than just throwing it away in one of these crappy things for a tiny return on investment. The only reason Mordry and that item were ever any good was because bloodstone dust was coming out of our ears and it wasn't worth anything. But at the moment I'm converting bloodstone dust into ley line infused tools, which are worth big money. This 500 gold comes from that. So I need bloodstone dust for my own endeavors. Outside of ascended crafting and stuff. So yeah, I'm not going to use that item. It's okay if you don't want to do the tools though, if you don't have any charged quartz or anything like that.
Getting healthy. Flood it.
Or is that Harter? Is that what you mean, Harter?
Overflow.
It's called Where Exalted Dare. Well, there you go.
Smart.
That's the one.
Drying off.
We've got a lot of people here who are basically just dead. Come on, prove your worth, guys. If you were going to do the Tangled Depths meta event, you're not going to get a very good explanation of this out of me today, guys. And that is going to limit our success, and I apologize.
Help! Here! Rage at maximum.
I'll destroy you all!
Wow, what was that? Was that Glint that spoke there, or was that the Crown? The Chuck don't speak. Gosh, no. Man, that was cool running that buff comp. Think about it, guys. Imagine that buff comp. The numbers we were getting in Series. So if people didn't tune in on yesterday's stream or the day before, we ran a buff comp in Series to see damage, and I hit a 25,000 damage single meteor. A single meteor hitting 25,000 damage. And this ability conjures 24 meteors. So 4 meteors is 100,000 damage in theory at those rates. It's kind of mental. Buff comps, baby. That's why I want to play Druid. I really do want to play Druid. I want to let everybody else have massive numbers. Or I just want a Druid to run around with me forever and evermore.
Charged up.
Severe weather warning.
Hey, Win Potatoes, there is a mini bestiary in Tangled Depths known as Sin Study Guide. I have an album of images showing where if I could get permission. You can get permission from a mod. I know what you're talking about though already.
Accelerating.
Oh, good luck. Somebody just got a Black Lion key. And yeah, that was basically one of the only cool things-ish that they did with lore. You usually hit 20k plus meteors. Nothing new, to be honest. Okay, yeah, except you don't running around in open world. Alright? You don't. Oh, apparently that was the Berserker shout. God, do female Norn really shout out? Yeah, I've got a Norn Revenant. I never told you guys. My Revenant is a Norn. And I made it basically one of the smallest Norn you can get for a male Norn. So he's very thin and he's as small as he can be. Obviously, he's still barrel-chested and massive. But the idea is he's a dervish anyway. But he's kind of tapping into that dervishy idea of being with the spirits of the wild rather than the human gods. And his name is...
Go ahead.
And I very much doubt anyone will recognize this in chat. If you do, then that's awesome. But his name is Shiverpeak Auric. He's very, very, very cool. But one of the reasons I was excited to do it as a Norn was because of all the, like, the cries and stuff. With the Norn voice acting. Unless I'm talking on my arse, because it's just the legends anyway. So. Can I see your Ellie build? Alright, well, so look. My Ellie build for the Chuck Garen is not actually this. I'll show you what my Ellie build is. First, we go to the TP. My Ellie build's a little bit bad at the moment. It's a little bit broken because I don't have my Assassin's gear, but whatever. So we're going to go to Toxic. Okay. You're going to buy a Toxic Sharpening Stone as an Ellie. This is the best way to get power. Because you're low vitality and min toughness, so the other ones that convert aren't as good. Just flat 100's better. And then you're going to go Seaweed. And this is 10% damage while moving. And even though you're rooted while casting Meteor Shower, it's still worthwhile in my opinion. I don't know mathematically whether it's worthwhile. Then we've got... well, that's it basically. Then we're going to run Staff, and you're going to want to run an Assassin's Staff. You also ideally want some Assassin's Trinkets. But I don't have them, and maybe even Assassin's Armor, but I don't have that. I've got Scholar Power Armor, or whatever. Then beyond that, we're not running Tempest. Tempest is silly, because overloading... You only take Tempest really for the overload. And 10% damage after you overload. But it's kind of situational and difficult to get it going on this fight. You're much more comfortable, much more consistent, much better damage. Just run water and take permanent 10% damage. Plus 20% when you're in water attunement. Plus Soothe and Power to keep yourself at high health to keep this trait active, as well as your Scholar Rune, should you be running those. Take Ice Bow so that you can cast it to take advantage of your water attunement. Take Signet of Fire because it massively bumps your damage. And take Arcane Shield so that if you're caught in the middle of a meteor shower and the ceiling falls on you, you can Arcane Shield in the middle of it. I was running the Glyph before because I got 7% more damage because of my old runes. But this time I'm going to run Fiery Greatsword. And this is because Fiery Greatsword will allow me to get back into the fight quickly if I die. But otherwise, that's that.
Getting healthy.
For your traits, gain ferocity based on power. You can take Tempest Defense, especially if you're not on any glyphs. I actually recommend, instead of Arcane Brilliance, I recommend Glyph of Elemental Harmony. Because you're not a Tempest, and because your Lava Fonts are always going to be far away from you, and you're going to be ranging, you're not going to use the Arcane Brilliance for the blast that frequently. So take the Glyph, it heals you more. Again, helps you proccing this trait more frequently. As well as just being a better heal and giving you the 3 might guaranteed anyway. So you can take this, if you're on like Ranger Runes or whatever, you can be like this and this, 2 Glyphs, and then run that. But I'm not, so I'm going to run Tempest Defense, because the break bar ultimately will get broken every now and then anyway. Bolt to the Heart, unquestionable. The top stuff, unquestionable.
Watch out, everyone! The insects have found us!
That's your early build. And your food. Run a Strength Booster if you can, I still have some. Alright, can anyone... So I'm gonna go to New Hawk Lane now. So the idea of this event, guys, is we're going to be splitting into 4 groups, all right, obviously. And I only want a few people with me, because if we have too many people at New Hawk, it scales up too much. So we've got to avoid that. But I don't really know how New Hawk works. So if anybody does know how New Hawk works, can you come and teach me? So we're going to go into the lane and see what's going on. Is Anorak perhaps a reference to the Anorak character from Ready Player One? No. It's a reference to Guild Wars. Anorak, isn't that the name of a Masart? Not Masart Marganite. Yes, you're right. It's the Dervish Marganites in the Domain of Anguish. The most dangerous Marganites you could find. The most elite, the most powerful, the most badass Marganites in the entire game. The Dervish variant of them were Marganite Anaruks. And so I've named my guy Shiverpeak Auric, because the idea is he's basically going to be a Dervish. He's got his scythe, skin, for, you know, the melee staff attacks, and he's got his arcane outfit for the hooded
Accelerating.
medium armor look. These are not. What's the highest DPS non-CC class? It depends on the situation you're in. They're all fairly close, DPS-wise. Also, there's no such thing as a CC class in Guild Wars 2 either. Everyone can CC to some extent.
Getting healthy.
One of the best CCs in the game is this thing here, Technobabble. And that has got nothing to do with class, it's your race.
Not my pet. Fire!
Is the dead spider god mentioned in some lore? No. No, it's not. Alright, this person says, you spread out among the shrooms on each side to get ready to stomp the nodules as soon as they spawn in order to lure out the boss. When there's 20 seconds left on the boss burn timer, you leave to get to the next area. Okay, friend. Okay, Tiny Ari, can you show me the spots? So show me the left spot, then show me the right spot, so I know where I need to go. And everyone who wants to learn about New Hawk, watch stream right now. We'll learn. Alright. But yes, the Dead Spider God is never actually mentioned in lore. The Dead Spider God is among many other really badass cool things that were only ever data mined lore. So it is true that there's a place called the Domain of Fear in the Realm of Torment, which is this freaking awesome, badass, scary map where you are walking on the body. Imagine a spider, guys, dead on its back. And you know how spiders curl their legs up towards their thorax, towards their center when they die? Like, they shrivel up, right? Imagine that. Now imagine that spider is like the size of this room, right? Bigger than this. Imagine the spider is the size of all these lanes put together. Like a giant, giant, giant spider. And the map, a huge chunk of the map at least, is you running around. The floor is the upturned stomach of the spider. Right? Imagine that. Now you've got the Domain of Pain. So if you were to look into the sky, if you were to look above you while you're running around in Guild Wars 1 at this area in the Domain of Pain, what you see are these giant, like, massive, arcing, like, spires coming out and arcing over in front of you, and those are the legs of the spider. Now, in the very center of the map, in the very middle of where that spider is dead, is like a red, a bit like this mushroom, right? But imagine it red. Like, just randomly, there's this red energy area. It's just red. And there's nothing else except the fact it's just this red area thing. Alright, now, that's all that's in-game. That's all that's in-game. There's no explanation about the spider. It could just be random visions of Abaddon. We don't know. That's it, right? Gone. However, when you data mined, you found out about a supposed landmark in the Domain of Fear called the Heart of the Spider, or whatever, right? And it's like, this is the still beating heart of a forgotten god that preceded Abaddon. And then there's another landmark that talks about something else, referring to a dead spider called Arachnia, god of the insects or something, and stuff like that. And by combining all the data mine stuff together, you get the lore. But it's not canon. It's not confirmed.
There's the power.
Because it's just data mine. All right, yeah, I'm done ranting about lore. Okay, so this is where we break the spores, is it? Mahio, yes. See, Revenant can CC, but that doesn't mean it's a CC class. It means it's a class capable of CCing among many others. It's not best defined by its capability to CC. Revenant is best defined by its ability to frontline DPS and support at the same time right now. If that's what you mean it excels in more than anyone else. So no, I don't stand by that logic. I don't think that you can say a single class is a CC class. Alright, so the glowy shrooms on either side. Once you press F, they summon mushrooms that will knock you off the edge. So people need stability? Do we need stability for New Hawk? What about the mushrooms that aren't glowy and purple, like this one? Is it only the glowy purple ones? Okay, and then you need to kill the shroom mobs in order to spawn more nodules. Okay. Alright, so these are a couple, guys. If you're going to be doing New Hawk. Apparently there's some more with finger lights. Apparently stability is A+ for the nodules phase. Okay, so stability on New Hawk players. Just the glowy purple ones. Alright, guys. So the only ones that spawn stuff are the glowy purple mushrooms. Okay. Sounds good. So there's more over there. So what? I want to go up this bouncing mushroom. Okay. there any adrenal mushrooms around here you guys can use to burn harder? You've got to leave early. Alright, I saw the knockback there, and then one up there. Okay. Alright, so for phase 1, we all want to be spread out among the here, right? Oh god. How many players do we want at New Hawk?
And you'll leave a dumb corpse.
Over here.
How many do we want at New Hawk? Before it scales too badly. Because, yeah, I understand, you know, if we've scaled it to the point there's an elite's going to spawn here and we're stood on our own, then we're screwed. Yeah, if you get knocked off up here, then that's a pain to get all the way back up. Hey, Wooden Potatoes, try buying 50 cheapest blue reclaimed weapons with TV and salvage them with fine blue salvage kit. I got 4 reclaimed weapon plates from that and it costed around 5 gold. Why would someone buy rare reclaimed weapons for those plates? I don't know, because maybe people don't know just yet. Tiny Ari said we need about 22 people here. Cursed Proxy said no more than 20. Tiny Ari said 22, and then out of those, a team of 4 to focus the Chark at the bottom that will be going towards the cannon. You don't even need to designate. You can designate 4 people, but they can contribute with mushrooms. Only 1 wave will spawn. And when you've cleared that 1 wave, you know that it's done, and then they can go up and help. If you guys want to keep ferrying on, if you want to keep trying this, feel free to join me. Yeah, you can definitely have CC builds, guys. Yes, like a mace, hammer, warrior is totally a CC build, or a mace, shield, hammer, warrior, right? And then you can run CC lengthening runes and traits, sigils and appropriate traits and stuff. Yes, you can have CC builds, but there's no such thing. You know, that doesn't mean the warrior is a CC class. It just means it has CC capabilities when spec for it. That's the idea of Guild Wars 2, that every class can fill each role, so you don't feel forced onto a totally different class. That's the soft trinity. Well, an element of the soft trinity. Are we doing no CC? Yeah, we're doing the no CC strategy. So across all the lanes, guys, please, if you don't understand the tactic or how this works, please do watch that video. It's in Twitch chat. It will continuously be going up in Twitch chat. It explains the fight, and it explains how we're going to do it. But the idea is that the Chuck Gerrant will use an ability much like Meteor Shower for the Elementalist, and you just leave him doing that. And you dodge his ability, you dodge the falling rocks on the ceiling, but that allows you to damage him like hardcore. Alright, can we, so at New Hawk, can you guys show me the phase 2 spores now? Alright. Let's go check these out. So, should we survive the first one at New Hawk, we're going to go check out the phase 2 ones now. Christ, New Hawk's got a lot to it. No wonder it fails. So much to know. There's so many places.
I'm hurt.
These mushrooms hurt as well. What's an appropriate build? People dying up is deadly. Is there more over here? You've got a long way to go. So you press F, it spawns mushrooms. You kill mushrooms, mushrooms give you spores. Oh, there's nothing around here at the very least. That's good. Did anyone succeed without this no CC strat? I believe they did, yes. There were a couple of successes and then luck came around and we're like, hey, look, try out this strat, and it worked better. Okay. So again, we've got like a left and we've got a right section, I see.
Accelerating.
Is it true that these next ones are easier to trigger? Press F, kill mushies, eventually more spawn.
Rage at maximum.
When Potatoes, did Heart of Thorns even remotely make you consider giving up Guild Wars 2? Yes, it did. Yes, it did. I don't know how much I play this game purely for the gameplay. I think I play it a lot for the story. And the story as it currently stands isn't good enough for me anymore. If Living World Season 3 is the same as Season 2, and if the next expansion is the same as Heart of Thorns, I don't think it'll be enough to keep me playing Guild Wars 2. Certainly not to care about the story, and the gameplay would have had to have made leaps and bounds at that point for me to keep playing. I don't think I'd ever like have a hard like, oh, I'm rage quitting moment. But I could see myself playing it less and less and less, and then, you know, only just a little bit every now and then. Especially when other things come to take my fancy. Like VR related things.
Accelerate.
People should be bringing stability.
Rage at maximum.
We can't have everyone on Wooden Potato's dick or this won't work. That's very true, Thorgar Burnt Fur. We also got like a 35k Lightning Hammer 3. We need a commander ogre and less people at New Hawk. Yeah, is nobody commanding New Hawk yet? Ogre yet? Oh no, we got an ogre commander. What are you talking about, bro? There's an ogre commander. Good job over there.
Accelerating.
Alright, so basically it seems like New Hawk, it gets very simple where you go for the mushrooms. Is 20 seconds, bailing 20 seconds before the burn is over. The kind of understood time. Dumart says, I don't know why people expect a great story from an online game. I expect a mediocre story.
Getting healthy.
I don't expect the crap we were given. For, you know, for how little was there, I gotta say, I don't want to be crazy negative. I think back to my time at Brighton, and I think back to, like, them sending out devs as story representatives and stuff, and, like, you know, like, acting like the story's a big thing and a big deal, and, you know. And it's just so funny to me that it's like, why would you spend so much effort like that when what you basically released is such a short little thing? Like, really, like, it's weird to me. Like, looking back, I'm like, I mean, they must have had some perspective of how little they could do, surely, right? Or how little they were going to do.
Rage at maximum.
It's like, it's such a tiny little thing they gave us. It's like, yeah, well, you know, we'll act like it's a big deal before it comes out. It's weird. You're not going to get Rise of the Tomb Raider's quality story in an online game, but Guild Wars 1 had a pretty good story and the lore was deep. Guild Wars 1 was crap, guys. Guild Wars 1 was terrible at telling the story too. It was awful. Guild Wars 2 is way better. It's just easy in retrospect to, where Rose Tinted got... It's easy in retrospect to think Guild Wars was good because the execution of story we forget, while the story itself we remember. So the world building that Guild Wars 1 presented to us stays with us and stays in our hearts and we enjoy it. But I mean, just go watch any of those cutscenes. They're terrible, dude. They're terrible. And it was all obscure and difficult to find and all that kind of crap back then in that game too. Alright. You need end up getting people just walking around and people being stupid from my experience. Wait, alright, wait. So back to the New Hawk. I have... The problem with the P3 mushrooms is basically as it spawns, so does the ground wave of chalk. So people get disoriented and they don't know if they want to go up or not. I don't know what's better, but if you just end up letting people walking around being stupid. Okay, so here's the point here, guys. Alright, with the Chuck Garrett, I'm going to act like a lot of you know what's going on. You have the first phase, which we're going to trigger. We're going to get them to spawn. Second is usually where everyone fails, so this is the really important one that we've got to be very careful of and get to the mushrooms quick, right? If we get to phase 3, on the third spawn, a wave of Chuck spawns instantly as well. And so, like, people get confused. So, again, when that wave spawns, just clear the wave together and then go up, I guess, and we'll see how that goes. If someone has a serious complaint about that idea, let me know. Let me know. See, Excel Kobayashi says, Factions was the worst story-wise, but Nightfall and Eye of the North were really good. And you're absolutely right. Execution, Factions was pretty terrible, but I would still say Factions was sort of on par with Prophecies. Prophecies was very dilute. And it was very good early on, but, like, just look at the side quests, right? Like, it had lots of side quests, lots of decent stuff in Ascalon, and an okay amount in Kryta, but then it just got terrible. The execution and Prophecies was really bad too, to be honest. Really bad. But it had a lot of scope to it, alright? And a big world. and for the bar that you could hit back in 2005, it's much lower, so it got away with it. Factions, though it executed its story poorly, actually is the best example of world building we've got. Read The Empire Divided, right? Look at any of the tons of little things they had. The setup, the recent history of that area of the world, the ancient history of that area of the world, the 200 years ago history with Shiro and the Jade Wind, all the different factions and the different gangs and the wings of the ministries and the way the classes tied into the lore. It was dripping with culture. So many enemy factions introduced, all of them with something worthwhile. I think the only one that was introduced that basically had very little story at all was like the Kappa. Alright, yes, Kappa. We can all spam that in chat now. So like, Factions was really good for the world building. It just had terrible voice acting and certain other problems. So you know, two sides of the coin. Like, I would say Nightfall's world building was worse than Factions. Nightfall had some great stuff, and it tied into the other campaigns. Don't get me wrong. Nightfall had some serious stuff way better than Factions. Don't get me wrong. But just to view it as a whole, you know, Factions was one bulky product. I should get an emote that is Kappa, that is a legit Kappa. Oh, I really should. Can someone make that for me? That would be amazing. That would be really cool. Alright, we've got 15 minutes. So what should I do at New Hawk then? So guys, again, we're getting serious, and I don't want to, you know... so the other commanders on the map are putting a lot of effort in. We want enough people at Ratanovus, we want enough people at Scar. If you are in the map, please, please, please... start looking at map chat, start listening to the commanders, start figuring out what's going on. Hopefully at New Hawk you've got a good idea. I've got to be honest, I'm a bit wonky with what I'm doing, but I understand the concept. I guess I'm going to change my builds. I'm going to get rid of the iceberg. I'm going to reduce the cooldown of my Armor of Earth. We're going to do it that way. Oh, no. That's not the one I want to change. 3.5k non-crit there. This is the one I want to change. This is so crappy to swap off, though. The thing is, you should probably stress as the event is about to start, is that the spores are glowing mushies. Makes them easy to find. Guys, the spores are glowing mushies. Which I guess means mushrooms. I'm just as newbie as you guys are, but hopefully we've all got pros and I'm the only noob here. In linking to my earlier question, the way I see it is that if Season 3 of The Living World raises more questions than it answers, I'm going to have to leave the story and maybe kill the two altogether. As to me, it just shows they're making crap up as they go along. Look, you can't boil the quality of the story all the way down to the purest essence of like, oh, are they answering questions or not? Like, I think that's really silly. That's something I learned back when I was really into Lost, the TV show. I know it's a weird kind of comparison or leap to make. Like, really, there's a lot more to just what mysteries are set up and answered and resolved and stuff. There really is. You know, there are more serious questions at hand. There's more serious things like, you know, throwing air away just to develop Bram. If Bram doesn't do anything as a character with that opportunity, then, you know, that's bad storytelling. It's got nothing to do with whether they're paying off mysteries or not. Do we want one player per mushroom? Is that what we want? So this one's glowing purple, so I guess I want to stand here, right? One per mushroom? Oh, you can press control to see the nodules as well, apparently, guys. You can press control. Does WP watch The Leftovers? I don't quite know what you're talking about, so I guess not. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being poor, how would I rate the story? 4. 4 or a 5. In terms of execution, it is the best we've ever had, so I would be unfair to give it any less than an 8. But in terms of the quantity, in terms of the actual decisions they made with the story, it drags it all the way down to a 4 or a 5. It's a TV series. Okay, so yeah, I've never seen that. I'm sorry. Probably 2 people per mushroom. I don't know. It can be hard. Some are really easily cleaved. Sometimes there's an elite that owns you. It's hard to say exactly. 1 at each mushroom, but each person against assist each other, maybe? Okay. The Leftovers is the same writer-director as Lost, Season 2 at the moment. Wow, I didn't know. Interesting. So, what, wait. I can link you to a Tumblr post I made a while back talking about how I could have written the story. Or how I would have written the story. Oh, welcome to the Spud Club. Champion of Naps. Welcome, dude. I think you are our only sub today. Unless I've been a terrible, terrible streamer and I've missed. Welcome. You're an exclusive club. Have a hat. Enjoy posting links in chat now. Generally having some fun. Congratulations. You done it. What do we tell us? How do you think Season 3 will be? What are my thoughts on it?
Never felt better.
I think it will be about in line with Season 2. I think it will suck to wait to play a couple of instances and then have to wait and wait and wait for the next update. I think that, you know, there'll be an update. I think there'll be, if you're asking for story, I think we'll be dealing with a lot of Timey and Rata Novus. I think we'll deal a little bit with the egg. Stuff like that. It's just as mysterious as Lost, mainly about the character's reaction to mystery, etc. Oh, okay. I wonder how they would have learned from their mistakes there with Lost, because a lot of mistakes were made with Lost. Champion Apps, $5 a month is cheap compared to the entertainment you provide, WP. Oh, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. If I ever disappear off the planet from streaming, a much better place to put those $5 a month is Patreon, to be honest. But this gives you some benefits in chat, so do enjoy them. WP, how much are you enjoying the new season of South Park? I think it's pretty good. South Park can be hit or miss for me, but generally it's a show that I do very much enjoy. So far, I've enjoyed it. I haven't seen... I've seen up to episode 6. I don't know. Are we on mid-season break now with it? I don't know. Oh, no. I've missed the most recent episode. I know there's a thing in the most recent episode with PC Principal and that kid, but... I love what they did in these past 2 seasons where they segue episodes together in kind of like a more linear way. I don't know. I'm sleepy. I know I'm sleepy because I keep throwing out dumb words. All right, how long we got? We got 10 minutes. Get ready, guys. I would have killed Bram instead of Air. That's how it would have developed Air and effects on Destiny's Edge 2.0. That way she was sacrificed to develop a mare character. I'm fine with getting more and more questions as long as some older ones are solved and solved in different ways. I read Roger Zelany's Chronicles of Amber and I stopped reading books 6 to 10 several times because every time Zelany finally solved a question, it was the same way all the questions were answered. What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate on that, Drake Rubicon? WP, do you think Morgemoth could still be alive? They never said he was dead. No, I think he's dead. Come on. Don't act like he... Look, if he was alive, like, that would be even worse. WP, what traits am I currently using? I went over those a second ago, dude, but I'll go again. I'll have it up on the page while I answer questions. WP, what dragon do you think we're going for next? I've got no idea. Whatever the devs fancy. They don't like committing to things. Do potatoes have nipples? Interesting question. WP, what do you think should be changed in the story so it become better for you? There is so many facets to that question that I couldn't even begin. Oh, yes, continuity, thank you. So there's continuity between episodes, thank you. WP, what are your thoughts that the Asians choose who's gay? Well, I was as blown away by that as Randy Marsh was. That was very interesting to learn. And actually, since that episode, I've got into a bit of yaoi in my free time. I showed you guys that Photoshop stuff at the start of the stream. Actually, if you tune in at the end of the stream, I'll show you some yaoi I've done between Bram and Kanak, who, as I played the Heart of Thorns story, I felt I could detect, you know, a fair amount of tension between the two of them, and I wanted to see how they'd be as a couple. And naked. And in one another's arms. WP, do you eat potatoes for breakfast? Sometimes hash browns count, so yeah. WP, what's my favourite song at the moment? Skinny Love by Bon Iver. I've been listening to that song a lot. Skinny Love by Bon Iver. Beautiful song. Oh, sorry, yes, it's not all Asians, it's just the Japanese. When potatoes, so you believe the theory, which I do, that the energy went into Glint's egg rather than Morgemoth himself since he's dragging the mind. There was a mini debate on Reddit about last week. Why would it go into Morgemoth himself? It just came from Morgemoth. Can you elaborate on that? What's my favourite potato? I like... Okay, people ask me this a lot, alright? We got 2 minutes till this starts. People ask me this a lot. I will show you what the best kind of potato is, alright? This is the minted lamb chops from earlier. Alright? It's stuffed potato skins. But we go cheese, bacon, and onion. Stuffed. This looks okay. This looks pretty close to it. Alright, you do this. Alright? You dip this in sour cream. Alright? This is the best potato dish in existence. This is delicious. This is quite the meal. This is amazing. This is the more... This variety here is more what you'd get, like, you know, from like a ready meal pack at a supermarket, which I'm also quite partial to. But you can do them properly for yourself. There you go! Sour cream, baby! There you go. These people know what's up. That's what I'm talking about. Why do we always end up talking about food? Somebody asked me! What? People ask me all the time what my favourite potato dish is. This is my favourite potato dish. And it's probably mostly because of the cheese and bacon rather than the potato. But those crispy skins, man. Oh, God. Do you clot your sour cream too? No. Well, I don't know. Clotted sour cream? That sounds weird. I've never heard it referred to as that. Alright, here we go. Food, guys. Consumables. This is it. Good luck. I've not explained this very well. Best of luck to you all. Let's do it. They're really easy to do as well. The theory put forth from Reddit was that since it was just an egg, it's not an actual dragon, rather than simply transferring the energy, Morgemoth could transfer his mind in addition, essentially creating his own vessel instead of getting a baby dragon akin to... Look, I've heard that theory a lot, that Morgemoth somehow put his mind in the egg. I think it's a load of crap. I mean, it might come true, maybe, but they would have set up some precedent for it, right? There would have been some reason for it. There would have been something. So I don't think that that's what we're seeing. All right, I'm excited about this. So we have more time to DPS and then move on Stomp in phase 2. All right, I hope I'm in the right place. Good job, Nuhawk. We're all spread out quite nicely. You should have a potato cam where it's just potato skins for a day. What, like steaming hot potato skins? Man, can you imagine if I did like all this delicious food? Like, that's what we had for the potatoes instead. Cooking with WP, presented as the full release taste of Tyria, but he's just making British food every time. The potatoes, the stuffed potato skins isn't very British, is it? Shark defense active in 3 minutes. Alright. Really what happens is Morgemoth's energy went into the egg. It's not Morgemoth's energy though. This is the silly thing. This is what I think people don't seem to understand. It's just magic. It's just energy at that point, right? It's the same as Abaddon gets destroyed and becomes pure energy, which Cormyr absorbs. Alright? Like, it's just magic. That, you know, the magic that made up Abaddon is now in Cormyr, but that doesn't mean Cormyr is infected by Abaddon. That doesn't mean Abaddon has any control over Cormyr. That doesn't mean anything. It's literally the same thing we're seeing. Alright? It's just spheres of power. And it's magic, leaking around. Just as Morgemoth was feeding off of leaking Zhaitan energy. Again, like, it upsets me that speculation about this is really a thing, because I think if the story was told better, people would understand that this is just energy. Or if I'm wrong, right, then I shouldn't have this such a staunch opinion, right? Like I just think if a theory like that was true, they would have set up a bit of ambiguity at the end. And if it does come true, then that's why I say it's bad storytelling. Again, because, like, it's just so poorly set up. Glint will be a friendly elder dragon. Is there any question about this? Glint is dead. But if you mean Glint's baby, then yeah, I guess. No, I don't smoke. The potato does. I don't. I didn't talk about smoking individual wood. What? How people were shocked when they found out. People were shocked when they thought that I smoked, but that doesn't actually mean I smoke. Just going back into GW2. Any useful ways to earn gold now? Yeah, complete the Heart of Thorns story the first time. Do some achievements. You can get loads of linseed oil. You can get quite a few cool things. Actually, no, that's a pretty terrible... I don't know. But yeah, just play the game. That's all I've been doing, and I'm okay with cash. One minute 30. Good luck, everybody. Again, one final reminder. Please pop food, consumables. Do you have it in you, NA, to defeat the Chuck Garant? Remember, here at New Hawk, there's a bit of a delay. So remember, about 20 seconds before the boss would, you know, toxify the area and move on, you're going to have to hoof it. You're going to have to move it a bit quicker. WP, do you think the story was badly explained because they rushed the expansion? Yes, I do. I think they came to the decision to make an expansion far too late, and then they... I mean, stuff had to be right. Like, again, I was saying about a month before they announced the actual release date, I said I wanted January as a release date. And I know that sounds... I don't know. It's after Christmas. I think this was a terrible release date, though. I've seen a big hit in viewership and interest in the game and all that kind of stuff ever since Fallout 4 came out. A massive, massive, massive hit. Like, the new videos I put up are a little below where they used to be. But, like, in terms of old videos that people used to watch, which contributed a lot to, like, daily views and stuff, nobody's... Like, that stuff's still gone, basically. So, like, it can be hard to see on the surface, but I think a lot of people... I just think the timing was bad. You know, if they gave themselves till early next year, they would have had so much more time to flesh things out. Anyway, here we go. So I press F on that nodule. Sporelings spawn. I'm going to Arcane Shield. I'm going to stab.
Rage at maximum.
Should I alternate between... Oh, my God.
Help me. Hurry.
Okay, that was pretty terrible. Why am I taking damage? What's taking down? Oh, it's that guy hitting me. Are you serious? I forgot that they do the little explosions that you got to dodge roll. What? What? I just took like almost 10k from a random hit. Oh my God. Alright. Now I need to learn how to get back to my lane easily. It's this one over here. Okay. It's a terrible start. I think we should have spawned him at least. Yeah, I don't know. Super Squishy Ellie, smart to be over there. I mean, I could just learn to play and dodge. Seriously, that hit was massive. Damage taken. 9,933 damage using Spike. That was like 30% more damage than the, like the death explosion thing was that killed me before. That was huge. Alright, so we get bonus spore levels here as well, so we're on level 2. How frequently do people at New Hawk get all the way up on that? Keep releasing spores. There's more nodules up there. Can I just reflect them for crazy damage if they're all going to use Spike? It looks like the Spike's coming. There you go, those guys popped some nodules. Can we get to level 5? Level 4? Level 4's okay. If I hadn't... Oh, look, 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 look. Alright, well, whatever. Okay. Garant's up. Garant spawned quite far away as well. There's a lot of moving you gotta do. Alright, so here we go, guys. Don't break the break bar. Let's see what kind of damage we can do. He's got 6 goop on him. What does goop do? Oh, he just cleansed it. Oh, why did I do that? Alright, I've got to get back in the mode. In the zone. What you guys are going to see here, by the way, is I'm hitting much harder than I used to when I crit, because I'm now on, like, my crazy Zerky armor. Like, crazy armor. But the thing is, my crits are far less frequent. Unless I can find a Revenant to stand next to, which I really should. A lot more people meleeing than I've got the balls to do.
I'm failing quickly.
I'm trying to stand in this time warp.
Assistance!
I'm seeing good damage in New Hawk. I am seeing good damage. This is okay. Oh. Break bar's gone. Oh, I'm so out of the zone today, guys. I'm so out of the zone. I'm just sat here thinking about friggin' potato skins. Oh my god, a time warp just from you? That was lovely. 20% less damage right now. Oh, he spawned the donut. He's actually got 2 donuts. Remember to avoid those, guys. Alright, there we go. He's break barred up. Good.
Need help here.
Hylic lane secure? Hylic? What? So look here, you'll see we're getting 10k hits already before even bolts of the heart start proccing, which is great. Alright, so with the stream delay, those of you at New Hawk right now, start paying attention, getting ready to leave, okay? Because you don't have very long till we have to get going. 20 seconds on the clock. That's when we start leaving. Oh my god, I'm getting 20k hits on the Garen. What is this? So they made him deliberately easier to DPS because their spawn mechanic is held up. Interesting. Alright, so I got 40 seconds left on the clock. By the time you guys hear my voice, it's probably time to get going, so pay attention. Look at that. That was like a 17k thing. We almost did 50% of his health in one friggin' thing. We could kill him in phase 2, surely. Surely we could. Look, we're going to get the 50% thing. So get going, guys. Get going. Pick up the FGSs if you want them. We're going to go half left, half to the right. It seems like most people are going to the right, so I'm going to go to the left. With our 50% traits proccing, we could totally get a phase 2 thing there. Don't forget about the speed mushrooms. Alright, we've got a bunch more nodules. Okay. So far, no elites have been seen. There's a veteran there, though.
How'd that feel?
There's a bunch of nodules up there. That guy's the only one, so let's try and get up there too.
Waters rage.
Okay, this is the one that is infamous for people messing up, right? Damn, yeah, this is brutal. We're about 50%. Ow, ow, ow.
Integrity.
He's gonna blow up when he dies. Jesus Christ. All right, so wait. This is no longer a purple mushroom. So what does that mean? More nodules on that. There's one there, but what, are they scared to get it? Someone press F on that? Someone press F on that nodule? Alright, I will. We got a minute. It's okay.
There's the power.
Oh my god, this is kind of scary. There's an elite. There's an elite right there. Want to watch out for that. We've got 45 seconds. I'm watching very keenly for more nodules. Nobody's prepared for that one up there, so I'm going to get up there in case a nodule appears all the way over here. Just in case. Because who knows. Alright, we got him. We're not going to get any bonus Vuln, but... Oh my god, look, there's one down there. Oh, and there. Okay, alright, we got the spawn. Good job, guys. Well done at New Hawk. Everyone can breathe a sigh of relief on the other lanes right now. We've not failed on this one. Remember that phase 3 transitions are going to be another big risk, though. Oh, maybe I should have stayed up. We could have got another vulnerability level. Oh, I see. So maybe we're not going to get that crazy DPS because the vulnerability level is going to be lower. Well, we'll see how it goes. All right. Straight back into the damage. Here we go. Let's get rolling. Ah, he break barred quickly. That was great. That's excellent. That's fine. Oh my god, yes. Love it. Alacrity, also love it. Fury, also love it. Alright, that's going to be a good meteor shower on there. 10, 11, 17. I'm going to try and get you. I know you're downstate, but I'm going to try and get you. Oh, this feels like a mistake. It really feels like a mistake doing this. Stay away from his tail, because his tail seems to be like an individual hit. Alright. Oh, no. Oh! Okay. Alright, we're alright. Burning speed was on cooldown. And it scared me. Oh, no. Come back, Garen. Come back. Oh, we're getting really lucky RNG there, even though he's on the edge of our meteor shower. Alright, there's his evade. We seem to hit higher while he's moving around. That's funny. Alright, 1 minute 40. We might be on point for the phase 2 kill. Oh, he did it very quickly again. That sling is going to knock me out of my 100% health. Oh, beautiful. Loving the time warp. Makes it a bit hard to see, but loving it. I mean, who can argue with this damage? Like, really?
You can't stop me. Getting healthy.
Keep on pushing. Another alacrity. So your auto attack DPS. People don't really want the alacrity as much as other people. Right, we got a minute. Come on. If we can kill this, Garen right now, guys, if we can kill this Garen right now, we don't have to worry about the next phase. Oh god, that's true. I messed up pretty bad there. Maybe I can res on the slinger as long as that guy doesn't. All right, we're good. All right. We're not gonna make it. We're gonna have to move. All right, 20 seconds. Get going, guys. Get going.
Synergy is beautiful.
It's not gonna happen, New Hawk. It was a good attempt, but we're gonna have to do the next mechanic.
I require more energy.
Oh god, so many of those. Next phase. Oh, if I was in combat, that would not have worked the way that I just did. Okay, so we got to get up. So bouncing mushroom. Oh, remember though, on the phase 3 transition, there's going to be a wave of chuck very quickly. So we want to deal with those too. Don't panic with those. We had a failure once because nobody was dealing with those chuck. So remember those. Don't freak out. Just make sure you're dedicated on one thing or the other. These chuck here. I'm trying to CC them as best I can. I appreciate most of you are up at nodules. Alright, I'm going to need more help, guys. I think. Oh god, it's hard to tell. It's so hard to tell. Oh my god, that dragon's more. That one's a veteran. It's going to get up to the cannon. Oh my god, that was an amazing level. Alright, we're good. Okay. So we want to get up, right?
Oh, what a pleasant surprise.
Nodules. We're a little off time for the nodules, I guess. Oh god, this is horrible. This is actually horrible. Oh my god, come on!
Cover the other operations.
There's loads on that. There's loads on that over there. Look at that. Go. Must go help that guy. I require more energy. I know, Liz. I'm sorry. Just keep going. Oh, I'm too late. They've got them anyway. I've been useless. I've not got a single nodule. I'll DPS some spawnings, I guess. We've got 30 seconds. There's more nodules over there. Can I glide to that, maybe? Oh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Lime Leaf. You just missed 2, Lime Leaf. You just missed 2. Oh, please let me get a single module so I don't feel terrible about myself. I got it. I got it. It doesn't matter that guy was there. It doesn't matter. 9 seconds, 8 seconds. Oh, God, guys, more nodules. More nodules. There, they're over there. Oh, no. Oh, we got it. We got it. We got it. All right. All right, we're good. Jesus, that is scary. That was close. That's so much harder than Ogre. They may as well not be... Oh, my God. Yeah, bro, you can attack me. But you know it's over. You know you've got no chance. All right, New Hawk will be done just momentarily. I guess spread out, hit the other lanes. Need 1 to 2 more for Ogre DPS, people are saying. We got 3 minutes. I may just go Ogre then. I mean, they don't need me here.
Wash the pain away.
Oh my God, that was some serious skill delay on that. I'm not being funny. All right, we got a New Hawk kill. We got a New Hawk kill. It's pretty intense. Some guy in this Zerg is like, yeah, I got the last one. I'm a badass. You are indeed. All right, come on, Garen. Down you go, down you go, down you go. I like how that break bar's chunking. There we go. Nice. All right, get moving, guys. We got 3 minutes to help out the others. I would recommend waypointing. And then Ogre was calling for DPS. I know Ogre, so I'm going Ogre. Ogre's probably also the closest one to the waypoint. But don't all Zerg it unless you're confident you're not going to die instantly and you can do damage. Otherwise, you'll upscale it unnecessarily. Ogre's at 20%.
Statistically speaking, this is rather rare.
Someone saying go Scar. Someone else is saying don't go Scar. Ogre's looking really tight on the timing. Like, really tight on the timing. Oh, what? What even? How is that? What? Oh my God, I think it was the purple donut. I feel terrible now. If they don't kill it Ogre now, I'm going to blame myself. I hate that. I was busy looking up at one of the health bars. Oh, Christ. Oh, and I've summoned that. Okay, no. I thought I'd summoned the FGS on the thing, which would have put burning on it, which would have put me in combat. 55 seconds. No, they're okay. Actually, now looking again, I think they're okay, Ogre. What else is there, guys? What else needs help? Scar should be good, they're saying. 45 seconds to finish off this Garen.
Fire!
If you're not full DPS, that's right. Don't scale it up.
Back on my feet.
I mean, I guess I'm not technically full DPS, but I'm pretty good DPS. All right, we've got 30 seconds to chunk through this last little bit. I think he should be okay. Except that break bar just went down. Oh, this is scary. Look at this. Oh, Ogre, come on, man. Ogre, you're always so much better than this, Ogre. Oh, my God. 7, 6, 5. Oh, my God. 5 seconds left.
There's the power.
Is that it? Are we done? Is that all of them? Are we good? 5 seconds remaining? Ogre, we got it. What? Scar says they're at 1%. Scar says they're at 1%. Scar failed at 1%, apparently. Scar failed at 1%. I think that's it, guys. I think that's killed my motivation. I don't think I ever want to do this again. Scar's legit 1%, apparently. 1% on Scar. Yeah, everybody's screaming about how Scar's 1%. Yeah, there he is. There's the Garen. I'm not close enough to target him. I'm trying to, guys, to see his health. There. Oh, my God. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That was the last Garen alive.
But you don't know it yet.
I thought we'd made it.
Oh,
for a second.
What a pleasant surprise.
Alright, listen. Alright, if you were at Scar, I'm going to make you feel terrible now. If you were at Scar, alright, seriously sit down and think, alright? Did you die at Scar? Alright? Did you die at any point at Scar? If you're that guy that died at Scar, because a lot of you will have, multiple times, alright? If you died at Scar, you lost this for us. You and you alone. If you didn't die, you just got a couple more auto attacks off, you would have made 150 people very happy. But you didn't. Because you did that stupid thing, didn't you? Yeah, you know why you died. You know exactly what you did. Alright? Now, I'm not trying to be mean, but I think you should uninstall Guild Wars 2. Alright? WP, please stop cyberbullying. Yeah, did you have food? Did you have food? Yeah, let's check it. Let's check the Scar people for food. Let's see who didn't have food at Scar. I'm not going to do that. That's me. Everyone I clicked did actually have food, to be fair. That was pretty cool. That was close. That kind of stuff happens. Hey, what can we say? It was an interesting insight to New Hook. Good attempt, NA. Good attempt. Well, we'll see how EU does on the next run at some point. Just give them the noose already, WP. Oh, it's so bad. They died because they didn't play Nomads, yeah. No, at the same time, maybe I should have gone to Scar. But some people were saying don't go Scar, so I don't know. Basically, we're talking about a difference of 5 seconds, right? Like, I don't know.
Never accelerating.
What happens if you succeed with the event, Wood Potatoes? Alright, well, you see all the cannons. This one got busted. The other ones are okay. They all fire at this wall. I did a video 3 days ago that show it happening. They fire at this wall and they dig this, like, super deep tunnel. And it allows you to get into the next map. And how badass is that? That's a really cool thought, right? Like, oh, that's the only way to get to the map. Cool. But obviously, this game's for casuals, so they copped out and added another entrance to the next map. But there's also a chest that spawns in the middle that gives you a collection for your Revenant stuff. There's a bunch of, like, crystalline caches down there. There's a vendor down there that doesn't sell anything unique, but whatever. There are a bunch of achievements associated with it, but one of the reasons this is really unrewarding at the moment is because the achievements associated with it are all bugged. So, for example, Ogre Lane Defender, Ratanovus Lane Defender. Like, I've succeeded in Ogre Lane before. I've done this, but it doesn't trigger. So, yeah. Yeah. Big old 2-hour cooldown. We're going to have new people next time it comes, and it's going to be over. If we could just trigger it again, try again, I'm sure we'd be fine. You know, an Arenanet could add an epic gold sync to this as well. Like if it was like pay 100... You remember what they did with the farm in the Crown Pavilion the second year, where everybody contributed gold to spawn it? That should absolutely be a mechanic. They could charge 150 gold to respawn this. Everyone in here would probably be willing to pay a gold because we're so close. That's a good gold sync right there. WP, get your 24k chest. Can I do that today though?
My team's been scattered in the
I'm 30 AP away. You'd be surprised how hard that is to come across.
They're good soldiers, but you know this jungle.
I do have daily to do, which would give me 10, and then I'd need to get 20 more. It'll probably be something for next stream, guys. Probably for the next stream. I think Taria's going to be up soon if we get a taxi. Actually, I'm probably going to call the stream early today, guys. I'm very sleepy, and basically I want to get back to the Bestiary and do some of that stuff. But that was a good attempt. Tomorrow, I am not confirming I'll be EU. I don't know whether I'll be EU. I might be NA again tomorrow, but if I can, I'll EU it up tomorrow. And we may try again. I didn't do very much explanation or prep on this, and people just generally knew what was going on, which was great, which makes me more confident about doing it again. And we did really well, so hey, maybe the EU crowd will pull it out and pull it out of the bag. But there's no way I'm waiting another 2 hours. I apologize. We did that another stream, and it was thoroughly depressing when we just failed instantly. By the way, WP, I could only answer all the questions in Ratanovus because of your videos. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you very much. NA proved we are better than EU. We got far closer. Yeah, but you've had more attempts on the stream than EU. By like quite a few, actually. You've had like 3 more attempts, I think. WP, are you going out for 3 days, or you stream a bit of raiding first impressions? Well, I'm streaming tomorrow. It's only Sunday, so I'll stream tomorrow. But for those 3 days, yeah, I'll probably just be gone from Twitch. I'll be there on YouTube, and I'll give you impressions of raids and stuff on YouTube, and that stuff will continue going. But we'll have the Twitch stuff going on after that. We could do raid. It could be, you know, tomorrow might be our last Chuck Garrett, because then come Friday when the stream kicks up again, we'll have raids, and we could try some pug raid stuff. I don't know. We could even try that on Twitch. Why not? But yeah. It was really, really nice for you guys all to come in. I'm going to try and find somebody to host. The thing is, I'm just not going to stream raids until I've done them with my guild already in the first place and stuff. Alright, I don't think I've hosted Chaith yet, so I'm gonna go do that. Enjoy some sweet ass, very likely to be engineer PvP. Hope you guys all enjoyed. Thank you again so much, everybody who came. Hope you're enjoying the stuff. You can send me some messages on Twitter, Reddit, here on Twitch. If there's anything I haven't said anything to you, I'll be checking those areas. Thanks again, guys. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to the thoughts on the Bestiary as well. Fingers crossed. We might see something like it one day.